Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, I'm going to be doing some more Lexi testing, getting ready for Nats. I've tweaked our list a couple times since we started playing. Zach and I are the two people on our team that are playing at Nats. There's more than two of us going to Nats, but only two of us actually qualified for Nats. Zach and I are going to be on the same list, barring that nothing crazy happens in the next, week and a half. So, kind of where we're at right now. Through my last 26 games on our newest version of the deck, I'm 20-6. I've lost to an Azuri, I've lost the Mirror, I've lost a Kano, I've lost a Dash, I've lost a Katsu and Bravo. Some of those games were like a little crazy, like some of the decks just kind of popped off against me and I didn't really have much defense, honestly. But I'm 20-6 so far. I mean, I feel really good about where I'm at and how the games are going. The deck feels really smooth and really solid, and I think our sideboarding plans are really working out. So I don't know, I feel really good about Nats and like where everything's at, and I'm pretty excited for it. So we're going to do some more testing tonight. I'm going to go ahead and hop in to our games here. Yeah, 20-6 feels pretty good. I mean, and we've got all of our matchups built into the deck. I got to make sure that I write them down and have them wrote down ready on a sideboard guide before Nationals. So pretty excited about that. It's been so long since I've actually used a sideboard guide. Like I never actually wrote one down. I had one when I played Icelander, but during ProQuest season back in January, and then I never used one for Oldham during National season because it was pretty much like you were always on some variation of like high number of 60 cards. And so I don't know. I'm excited to have a sideboard guide again. It's not something that I get to do very often. Also something that I think is pretty cool. I'm close to 500 subs on YouTube. And that's like, I'm going to be honest, like getting to 500 subs on YouTube is like kind of a surreal thought, like having being a 483 is really cool. Having as many subs as I do is like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I just really like the community and I like hanging out with people and like everybody that's like comes by and hangs out, it means a lot. And I enjoy just getting to know everybody and seeing all the different personalities. Hopefully we get those top tier fatigue games today. Dude, I hope so. I would like to get some more fatigue games in, honestly. I played against a fatigue Bravo earlier today. And that was an interesting game. I ended up getting him when I killed him when I had 12 cards in my deck and he had 15 and I still had my remembrance left. It was a really interesting game. They left? They even got to go second and everything. All right, that was weird. I'm just going to join this random game then. All right, well, let's try this game. It's kind of weird that my opponent got the roll, the coin toss. They got everything. They were gonna get to go second in the mirror. Like they got it all right there. All right. Fire Satan. What a name. It's a name if I've ever heard one. So our original plan was the mirror was to just play 60 cards. We felt like these were the 60 most efficient cards that we could play into the mirror. Normally Remorseless is like a 1 for 7, 1 for 8. Heat Seeker's really good. We cut Hamstring Shots because the one additional resource sometimes can be taxing, but not always. Drill Shots are kind of meh. Battering Bolt, like the only thing you really catch is Rain Razors, and sometimes people play Artivore, so you can catch that. Codex of Inertia doesn't seem that great in the mirror, and Remembrance is a no block, and Down and Dirty is like fine. So this is our original plan into the mirror. I'm going to try this just because I want to see how this feels so far. So I'm going to load Remorseless here and then pass. Cracker Jacks, huh? Interesting. I'm intrigued to see that they're playing Cracker Jacks. I haven't actually seen somebody play that card other than like drafting it. And they just pass. They do let it happen, so Yeah, we'll just pitch a Bolton shot here. We only have to give up one card and doesn't really hamper our plan too much here, so they're probably going to try and throw 2 arrows at us. Icequake and a Heat Seeker. So, Heat Seeker for 8. On hit, we get a Frostbite. Or for 9, I guess. They gave it +1. That makes sense. So, I mean, we can just block 9 here. We could just, like, we could go Command and Conquer 3 of a kind, Bolton Shot, Hornet Sting for blocking 9. Activate Lexi. Give them 3 Frostbites and hope that's enough to just slow their turn down to where they can't really do much. I could alternatively block 3, take 6, give them another card. They'd have a 5-card hand already. Let's tell our opponent that we're thinking here. So if we block with Command and Conquer, I can pitch Bolton Shot to activate Lexi, play Arctic, Arsenal 3 of a kind. I think that's a better line for us. We're pitch stacking a little bit here, and we're also trying to set up. We're actually going to give... They're playing E-Strike in their list. That's interesting. We're going to give them 4 Frostbites and then just pass here. Trying to set ourselves up a little bit to hopefully their turn isn't great, and we can use 3 of a kind to our advantage. Now, depending on what their turn looks like, we're probably looking at play Winter's Bite and then pitch a Withering Shot to play 3 of a kind. They're just going to pass. Their hand is so bad. So they must have all reds in their hand is the only thing I can come up with here. Interesting. It's really interesting that they just passed there. I mean, Arctic Incarceration is a heck of a card, but... So... Let's play Winter's Bite. Tunic's only on 2, so they have to give us a card from their hand. I'm probably going to pitch a Withering Shot in case I'm still stuck on all reds. It doesn't happen super often, but it does happen. Plus, we're setting up a Withering Shot for later in the game. Okay, so Withering Shot, 1 resource left, Falcon Wing. Actually, let's go Falcon Wing, Withering Shot, Remorseless, pitching Bolton Shot, Command and Conquer, and then we'll have an Icequake in Arsenal. I think that's a pretty solid turn there. I really like how Talishar has set up to where now when your cards are face up in your arsenal, that's how you see them. You see them as face up. And I really like that. I think that's a really neat interaction. Like, I like that they've changed that. Okay, so they're just agreeing to take that. I was like, I'm curious to know if they have a defense reaction here. Just gonna block 6. Maybe they have their own Arctic Incarceration here. I'm gonna go Bolton Shot, Withering Shot, Command and Conquer. They do have their own Arctic Incarceration here. So we have 4 Frostbites. So let's see what our options are here. If we trench, we have to pitch Heat Seeker, Remorseless, and Codex. And then we end up with 1 resource to play our 3 of a kind and then have a turn. Try to have a turn, hopefully. That's one line we could take. I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like that's really the only line we can take. We could pay 4 to flip Lexi, show Icequake, and then Arsenal Heat Seeker. I mean, it's 34-34. It's a close game, and we have an even number of cards in our deck. Maybe we're supposed to... This is tough. I think I'd rather try and set up and have a better turn here and let our... And, like, we'll pitch our 3 of a kind here. So I'm gonna go 3 of a kind. I'm gonna go Codex 3 of a kind Remorseless. Actually, Codex Remorseless 3 of a kind is what I'm gonna do. So we give our opponent a Frostbite, and then I'm just gonna arsenal my Heat Seeker here. So Codex Remorseless 3 of a kind. So play Icequake, 2 resources floating, Searing Shot into Heat Seeker while playing our Rain Razors, and we can block with the Remorseless here. Or I guess I could use my Rain Razors to... I think there's one more card before we get to our next card. Like, so I think we have one more card that we can pitch to put into our second pitch stack hand here. I don't know. Curious to see if they pick Go Again or if they pick Buff. Okay, so they're coming in for 7 here. I mean, we have 5 resources and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So play Icequake. Play Icequake, load Remorseless, and shoot Remorseless is my blue, and then load Searing Shot with Go Again is adding 1 resource, and so we have 1 resource left to shoot our Heat Seeker. So we don't get to play our Rain Razors here. We're giving our opponent an 11-point lead, and we're going to come in with an Icequake and 3 arrows. So, I mean, it's a pretty good start to our turn here. Let's activate Lexi when we start our turn. They're on definitely a very different version of Lexi, so, I mean, I doubt that they're on defense reactions, but if they are on defense reactions, then Remorseless puts us in a very good spot in case they have one in their arsenal to start this turn. Icequake is such a power card in the mirror, in my opinion. Talishar, Lexi, and we went first. Is my opponent just taking 8? Interesting. I mean, maybe they felt like they... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't feel like giving up 3 cards. I mean, they're not playing Hornet Sting or Perch Grappler, so we have 2 pieces of extra equipment that block that they do not have. And they just agreed to take 3 there and get a Frostbite. They're going to block with both cards, which means they can't flip Lexi and Arsenal a card because they have 2 Frostbites. And any action card that they play is going to cause them to lose a life. I'm going to go Rain Razors and Searing Shot. Sheesh! This hand's pretty good. Prank him, John. That's right. Absolutely. How are you, Allie? You have a good day so far? Oh, they just pass? Let's go. Bold move, Belichick. Throw it to the wide open Gronk. So they have a Tunic resource, which means I'm definitely not going to play my Winter's Bite here and pitch my Bolton Shot. I wouldn't do that anyway because Rain Razors gives us a chance to... Or Rain Razors and Bolton Shot gives us an opportunity to take a reload, to reload an arrow and get a better hand here. These are the kind of hands that dreams are made of. So far, so good? Good, I'm glad to hear it. Oh my god! Dog water. Puh, puh, puh. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. A disgrace. Ugh. We'll show them blue Winter's Bite here. Man. Spit on him. Yeah, dude, honestly. My deck's spitting on me right now. That's not exactly what you want to see off your 3 of a kind. Now, Fuse Frostlock with Rain Razors is pretty sweet because that's a 6 power arrow that demands to be blocked. We're gonna pitch this Winter's Bite and we're gonna load Bolt and Shot with +1. So now here's the real question. We can arsenal our yellow Winter's Bite, knowing that our opponent is going to take 6. Carly came in here to get something, and she looks so awkward. She looks like she was trying to steal something from me. We're definitely, like, I don't think there's a reason to reload here. So the real question is, are we going to activate Quiver? So if we activate Quiver, it's terrible for our pitch stack because we're going to have 3 Winter's Bites together. And if we miss, it sucks because we have no arsenal. But if we hit, we can throw another arrow. And I think the idea of having a 0 for 6 Rain Razors when I'm already winning is just better than a yellow Winter's Bite. Let's go for it. Oh, man. Some days you're just running hot. You love to see it. You love to see it. We're now up 13 points, and our opponent has a Pox token. I guess we're going to go yellow, blue, blue. Icequake, load Falcon Wing, 1 resource floating, play Codex of Frailty, get our Infecting Shot back. Man, I love it when a plan comes together. Lightning Surge and pass? What did they use Tunic for? Oh, they paid for the thing. Okay. How many cards did you present for this match? So I actually presented 60. I was talking about this before our match. Our original plan into the Lexi matchup was that it was a streamlined race and that you wanted to present just 60 cards to be able to race your opponent. And I don't think that's a bad plan as long as you're presenting your best 60 cards. So I have not been playing Fatigue this game, no. I like that. I think that the Lexi deck can swap to that if you have more cards than your opponent, but if I'm being honest, I haven't played enough games to really say whether that's 100% factual or not. Like, I just don't have enough experience in the matchup to say, yeah, that's exactly what it happens, and like, yada, yada, yada. So, Heat Seeker's lethal, requires a block from them. Remorseless means they can't play defense reactions from Arsenal. Infecting Shot has to be blocked. I mean, Withering Shot's also probably like if they let it hit, it's like a 1 for 7. I think Heat Seeker is our best card because it sets us up with a potential 6-card hand if they let it hit. Even if we hit 2 if we hit a no-go again arrow face up off Heat Seeker and then we draw a no-go again arrow, we can arsenal the last card that we draw off the Ponder because Trench will bail us out no matter what. I was actually testing some games today, and I was blocking with New Horizons before I was blocking with Trench. In certain matchups, 1, because I like the AB, and 2, because Trench will bail me out. If I don't have New Horizon, I can still just arsenal my 1 card, and it just doesn't matter as long as I have Trench, because Trench will bail me out. Okay. So now I have a Frailty token, which can be tough. So I could just give... I could just straight up give... I mean, this is for 3, so I could give Perch Grapplers. And... I could give Perch Grapplers an Infecting Shot, and then my turn would be... flip Lexi, pitch infecting shot to load endless arrow with go again. See what they do. They're trying to set up to have a big turn here. I want to get my opponent down to 1. Gear goes in for sure. Are you talking about on your block here? Like on the block here, you're saying we're definitely blocking. I mean, like, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to just say no blocks here. Let them keep their endless arrow because they already have a ponder token. And just go to 16. So if I go to 16 here and I don't block, I'm going to tell my opponent we're thinking. If I don't block here, my turn is activate Lexi to flip endless arrow, pitch infecting shot to load Icequake, pitch the other infecting shot to load endless arrow with go again, shoot for 6 on hit frostbite, and then I shoot the second endless arrow for 3 on hit frostbite. And then my opponent has Rain Razors, an endless arrow, and a 4-card hand. And then I can save all of my equipment blocking for next turn if I need it for anything. And plus, that's guaranteed to get at least a couple cards out of their hand next turn. At least a couple, which means the best thing they could have is a 3-yoke to punish us here. There's also trench play. I could also make a trench play that is very true. So if I trench here, I gain a resource on my turn. So if I trench, I gain a resource. I play Icequake. Pitch infecting shot with endless arrow for go again. So it's for 7, or it's for 6, which means we get 2 cards out of their hand, and then we arsenal an infecting shot. Or if we trench, we can load infecting shot, pitch the Icequake to shoot the infecting shot for 4 go again, which is a break point, which means they give me a card in their tunic. Then I'm pitching the last infecting shot to play the endless arrow for 3. I think I like my first line better, where we flip Lexi. I think that's the best line here. It presents the most damage. And I think I'm going to block 3 here like this, because if they want to play their Rain Razors, that's a 100% a win to me. Like, again, total win. Hornet Sting? Oh, no. So, Rain Razors is on the bottom of our deck now. I hate that I whiffed, but, like, they played a Rain Razors. Did this have Go again? They must have named Go again. I wasn't paying attention to this. This is why I was going to block so much originally. Yeah, this is why I was going to block so much originally, because I remember thinking that I need to block here. But, I mean, this, like, again, this is fine with me, honestly, because they have another load here. Oh, so they just loaded it and passed? Okay, so we still get to make our play here. Activate Lexi. We play Icequake, activate Voltaire for go again. And then this is for 6 go again. And then we're going to throw our other endless arrow for 3. My opponent just decided to concede. All right, they must have drawn like 2 Rain Razors or something. The only thing I can come up with is that they hit 2 Rain Razors there. Game felt pretty good. We got out ahead early and we were just able to keep the pressure on. Let's see. We are 1-0 on the evening. That's right, Ben. Let them know what's up. Let's play against Icelander. I like playing against Icelander because it's not exactly an easy matchup. And I have a very unpopular opinion in this matchup, which is to go second. So if you guys disagree, I'd like to know why, and I'd like to hear your all's cases for that. My argument for going second is that I think you want tempo in this matchup, and that going second gives you the opportunity to gain tempo and put yourself on the front foot at an earlier pace, which is where you want to be against Icelander, even though it's very scary to give them the Arsenal slot to start the game, because I'm not going to throw any attacks if I'm not going to throw any attacks if I go first. So I also only have AB2 in this matchup. One of the guys on the team disagrees with me on that. He thinks that AB3 is important. He thinks that it's important because AB3 allows you to prevent in case, and it allows you to prevent in case and blue ether ice vein from like really affecting your hand. And those are definitely valid points. We started with AB2 because that's what Michael Fang was playing, and I was like, you know what? If it's good enough for Michael Fang, it's good enough for me. This is also one of the few matchups that we actually run Snapdragons into. So I'd like to be able to load a Bolton shot here if I can, but they did this with Go again, so... They're definitely going to pick buff power unless their last card's just not what they want to be arsenaling. So I could block 6 and go to 39 and then be playing against a 5-card hand. I could join them. Yeah, I have to block 6 because I'd have to go to 33 to load the Bolton shot here. I have no resources. So... I'm going to start by loading the Falcon Wing and just hope that they don't have like a super early channel like Frigid here. Okay, this is exactly when it would be. This would be a very good time for me to have AB3. Not that AB3 really helps me in this situation a ton. It's just a... Like, I'd have to pitch my Ice Quake here to load Searing Shot for +1, Arsenal the Falcon Wing. Or I'd have to pitch my Falcon Wing to AB3, and then... Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do anyway here. I think AB3 rarely gets used. You can always trench in case. Yeah, that's true. Like, trench allows you to play around in case, and that's like one of the things that I... well, in case is the one that freezes all of your stuff, right? I guess you'd have to trench before it happens. So right now, I'm thinking that if we AB0, we go to 36, we pay 2. We already have a Voltaire on the stack, so we'd load... Actually, let's AB1. And then we'll pay 2. And I'll pitch the Falcon Wing here. And then Voltaire will load Searing Shot for +1. And we'll come in for 5 here. So we allowed them to deal 2 damage to us. And we're going to hopefully deal more than that. So we dealt 6. That was a winning turn cycle for us. So that feels pretty good. We're going to Arsenal Icequake because I want to be able to give them Frostbites. If you've ever played with or against the Icelander deck, then you understand that the Icelander deck is not... It's extremely resource efficient. So let's see. And all equipment they control. So I can trench this. So if I trench here, I can AB1 go to 36. And then I can load Heatseeker, start my turn with loading Heatseeker. And then I can... If the Heatseeker hits... Yeah, I think we're starting with Trench here. I think this is like... We're starting with Trench right here because they have Encase. Now, this is one of those situations where having Trench... Like, where having AB3 would be neat. Obviously we'd replace the Snapdragon scalers for it if we were going to do that, but I do agree with Mateus. I hope I'm saying that right. Trench also blocks 1, so it's fine. Yeah, absolutely. We'll prevent the 1, take 2. And then they might Waning Moon us here. If they do, I'm just going to go to 33. And then I might actually try to use my Rain Razors here to push Heat Seeker over the top. If I guess I could just pitch my Rain Razors here and prevent this. Let's try that. I've not really tried to play a more patient game against Iyslander yet, so let's try that tonight and kind of see what happens. We can kind of try to take it from there. So if I had started with my Winter's Bite, I'd be in a good spot, but because I didn't, they're actually... Wait, did they fuse? Yeah, Blizzard's revealed. So they're going to get to put a Winter's Bite on top of our deck. It's something with cost 0, right? Yep. So Voltaire, Heat Seeker, +1, come in for 6. They're very incentivized to block this here because they know that if they don't block this, I'm just going to have a yellow Winter's Bite in my arsenal, which is very taxing against them. From 300 games, we found out that slow game and big turns is what wins. Tempo never works. Oh, that's interesting. You've played a lot of Lexi then, if that's the case. You just have to survive 3 channels. Yeah, surviving 3 channels is the problem. Channeling Frigid is by far the most powerful card in Iyslander's deck, in my opinion. I mean, Iyslander has a lot of very powerful cards, but Channel Like Frigid is like super powerful at instant speed, attached with a Frostbite against aggro decks. So 300 games of this matchup, man, that is a lot of games for this matchup, dude. Like, I'm genuinely impressed. I was gonna say no worries because they said they're thinking. Yeah, like, dude, 300 games of this matchup specifically, that's a lot. That's a lot, dude. I mean, you're talking to somebody who's played... I've played 48 games of Lexi in the past, like, I don't know, like, I would say, like, half a week, probably. So, we jam a lot of games. Willem Kubik, PT top 8 is on Iyslander, so we are playing a lot to test for nationals. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's cool. That's awesome. Which PT did he top 8? And I asked that because, you know, I don't have all the names memorized of who's top 8 and when and where kind of thing. So which PT did they top 8? Give me Fighting Spirit and a Sink Below. Yep, I'm going to pitch the Remorseless here. The very first one on Prism. Oh, nice. That's cool. I don't know why, but that name, I was like, that name sounds familiar. I watched a lot of PT1. I was actually in New Jersey. I didn't play. I didn't qualify for the first PT. I started playing Flesh and Blood in that February, and during that time, I started playing during that February of 2022, I guess, and then they had the PT like in having a stroke. They had the PT in like May, I think, and I remember going to New Jersey. I'd never been to New York. That was a really cool experience. I was like one of the only people in my friend group that flew. Mateus, I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. Are you from outside of the States? Prism was also like a super good deck. Like, that deck was insanely like good. Like, at the time, like, Prism was just like very like, Prism was a solid deck. I really liked Prism. I played a lot of Prism actually when it was in CC. I tried not to play it at like my local events if I could help it, because like honestly most people hated playing against it. And I kind of go on Friday nights, you know, and like on Thursday nights and stuff just to hang out and like see my buddies and play games and stuff like that. Actually, at that time, Prism was bottom A tier since there was a lot of Starvo and Chain, but he's just that good. I mean, hey, honestly, man, that's like something that I feel like people are talking about more now than they ever have. but skill gapping people is a real thing. Like if you're just a better player than other people, a lot of like one of our friends is notoriously known for this. We give him a hard time about it. He thinks that like because he's beating these random people that like a certain deck is favored into a certain matchup, and then like we'll sit and play games into him, and like he won't win those games anymore. And so like it's just like it's like you can definitely skill gap people. That is a real thing that happens. I completely understand what it feels like to. I have skill gapped and I have been skill gapped before. Oh, for sure. Unless you play Lexi mirrors, you can win with anything if your opponent is worse. Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. So my opponent blocks 5, goes to 32, and then we're just gonna arsenal our searing shot here. Like they could have had a blizzard or something and tried to like stunt our turn there had we tried to go for a going in turn. This is an interesting hand. I'm going to start by playing 3 of a kind and pitching a 3 of a kind and really keep my codex for resources, and plus we can arsenal it later. I obviously don't know what we're going to draw here, so I'm just going to keep my codex and just take 2. Like, it's just 2 damage, so I'm going to take this and try to have a 3-arrow hand here. So hopefully that we can push over. We can push over a little bit here, over the top a little bit. My win in to top 8 Birmingham, I got skill gap by 2 Rain Razors into 3 Oak in the mirror, so yeah, at least Fab has the most skill-intensive gameplay out of all games. I mean... It sounds like you didn't really get skill gapped. It sounds like you got high rolled if you got beat by 2 Rain Razors and a 3 Oak in the mirror. I think you're saying that ironically, like trying to be funny, but I'm not sure. So I'm sorry to hear you lost your winning in, man. I have never actually... Whoa, Storm Striders. That's interesting. I've never actually been close enough to a top 8 to have an opportunity to win. To actually like top 8 a calling or anything like that. I day 2'd Nats last year, and that's day 2ing Nats last year was honestly like the best run I've had so far. I almost qualified for the PT back in January, but you know, like it just not that good, to be honest. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, I know it sucks to like not make top 8, but it's awesome that you got that close, you know? Like it's cool that like you were there. It's also cool that you got to go to Birmingham. I went to the UK for Magic years ago. I used to play Magic back in the day, and I went to the UK for Magic back in the day, and I had a lot of fun. Like I very actively remember having a lot of fun when I went, just seeing everything and like, you know, being a part of it. Like I like traveling the world and seeing all these different places and having these new experiences. I come from a very small town in Tennessee in the United States, and like I am definitely what a lot of people would refer to as an uncultured American, and I don't understand a lot of other people's cultures, but I have always been very avid about wanting to understand other cultures and, you know, being a part of that and like getting to learn other people's cultures. I think it's something that enough people don't have an opportunity to do in this life, and I really wish I had the opportunity to do it more as I've gotten older. So traveling and seeing the world is just like it's a total win for me. Played other games on high level for 15 years, so I'm used to losing. I mean, I get that. I do understand that. What other games did you play? Out of curiosity. Let's flip Lexi here and see what our opponent does. They were able to set up an Insidious Chill, which is tough. It's tough for us. I'm also kind of blown away that they popped their Storm Striders this early. I played a lot of Icelander. A lot of Icelander. And I I never pop my Stormstriders unless I had to do it to try and get out of a situation that I was definitely losing, or unless it was going to end the game. Like there was a couple of times against like a Fi deck that I like literally had no choice, that it was like do this or lose. And so I had to make a decision to pop my Stormstriders early to try and get back into the game. So I need 2 resources to play this. Actually, I'm going to pitch Searing Shot to play Winter's Bite here after this. I'm probably going to take 3, go to 24, play Winter's Bite, take a card, play Icequake, play Heat Seeker, pitch Infecting Shot because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, perfect. So I have to go to 24 to do this, but I get to throw Heat Seeker for 8, or I'm sorry, for 9. On hit, they get a Frostbite. I guess I could also just leave the Winter's Bite in my arsenal if I wanted to. I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough decision. That's a really weird decision, actually. Actually, let's just leave it there. They already have a Frostbite. Like, they already have a Frostbite. Let's just leave it there and just... 2 face-up cards is not going to matter because we have a Winter's Bite, which means we're automatically safe to be able to play that at some point. So we're not going to get blown out by the concept of having 2 face-up cards in our arsenal. Plus, we have Snapdragon Scalers, so it doesn't matter. Played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! A few European Championship top 4s. Switched to Magic, played a few GPs, tried PT, but it wasn't for me. Then Flesh and Blood came out, and our group was sold on it. I'm also sure you are sliding out ice. You are siding out Icequakes in this matchup. You can never justify its cost 1. Okay, gotcha. So you played a lot of games over the years. That's cool, man. My first like card game before this was only Magic. I played Magic before I played this game. And I played a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh before that, but I've just been like Magic was like my first card game. As I got older. And you're supposed to side out Icequakes in this matchup? That's interesting. I'm definitely not saying you're wrong. I've just never considered that because I really like Icequake. And I like the idea of giving our opponents Frostbites because Icelander is a very like resource heavy deck. But I mean, I'm definitely open to like trying to cut Winter's Bites or trying to cut the Icequakes. I think I have 63 cards in this matchup anyway. So maybe I'm just supposed to take out the Icequakes. I have to look and see what I would put in though. If I'm on 63, I can go down to straight 60. But if I'm on more, then it makes it interesting. I'm going to pitch Remembrance here because Bolton Shot's an arrow that I can play later. Let's come in for 5. This does have the effect of on-hit reload. And if they go for the Blizzard, we're just going to pitch our Bolton Shot to give it go again and then load our Drill Shot for +1 and have this turn into a 10-point turn where they had no effect on us, which is kind of cool. Hey, Taylor, what's up, brother? How are you, man? And yes, sir, I'm playing Lexi, man. I'm trying to get ready for Nats. I don't need to reload here. I guess I could. If I reloaded, I would have 1 resource left to prevent. I can prevent 1 or swing 1 more, and I think I would rather swing 1 more here. You playing Lexi at Nats? There is like a 98% chance I'm going to play Lexi at Nats. Yeah, I really like our list, and I really like what we've come up with. It feels really solid to me, and I think it's in a really good place, personally. Also, you are probably winning since you use Striders for no reason. Considering his arsenals, he doesn't seem too experienced. No, this definitely doesn't seem like a very experienced Icelander player. I definitely agree with that statement, for sure. I feel like this kind of goes back to the concept that we were talking about earlier. Like, if you're more experienced in a matchup or better than your opponent, then you will more often than not just win games. because you're just playing better than your opponent. This is definitely a start with the drill shot here. We're going to start by activating Voltaire. Well, we're not going to have a drill shot anymore. So I can pay 2. Or I can just say no, discard the... I could discard the drill shot, actually. And then give them 0 satisfaction. And we can load the Remorseless for +1 here. And then Arsenal the Icequake. I like that because then we can give them a Frostbite next turn. Spicy, excited to see y'all's list. Well, thanks, man. What are you guys thinking about playing? Or if you don't want to share that with the world, then you're more than welcome to just text that to me. Or if you don't want me to know, I also understand. You can tell me to go pound sand. That's cool. Discard, you keep resources for damage and Icequake should go. But let's see what happens. I mean, I like discarding the drill shot because like if I already have the Icequake in my deck. So like if I discard the Icequake, they take the drill shot and then I just throw this for 6 and then I have nothing to Arsenal. And I think considering the situation that I'm in, I would rather have something to Arsenal. I can give them Frostbites, and for every action they take here, like we're dealing a damage. Now, the action and them dealing a damage actually has nothing to do with the concept of what we were debating there. But I like keeping the Icequake there. All right, so let's start with Lexi. Okay, here we go. So playing Icequake's going to cost 3. We're also going to give them a Frostbite, which is not for nothing. So play Icequake, pitch Bolton Shot to play Rain Razors, get a 1-cost arrow like a Heat Seeker. We get a Heat Seeker and we come in for 10. You just block out as much as you can, hit back with Razors when you are free. This is the best case scenario. He's going to waste his chills with the channel on board. I mean, what is this, his second Channel Lake Frigid here? This is only his first Channel Lake Frigid. I think most people see Channel Lake Frigid as like a swing card to be able to like turn the tempo and make things better for you. That is definitely how I had to use Channel Lake Frigid sometimes. I think if you're planning on trying to block out as much as you can, then you're probably just going to end up like you should probably just be on AB3, right? Like I'm all about like trying to block AB like when you can and like trying to play a slower game, but you're just kind of like hamstringing yourself a little bit, don't you think there, Mattis? If you're just AB2ing everything. We're also going to get a card out of their hand here, and they're going to get to load a Scar for a Scar or a Wounded Bull here, which considering their Frostbite, I guess they can use Tunic to get rid of it. So I like playing... I like the Heat Seeker here because it gives us a 6-card hand. Oh, actually, I can't do the Heat Seeker because I only have 1 resource left. So we have to get a 0 cost. I wasn't thinking about the channel. Definitely would have just set myself up for failure. Searing Shot is really good. Bolton Shot is good. I feel like there are no more side slots for the third AB, but it just depends on the list. I mean, I don't know where I would fit a third AB in my list, like 100%, like in our team's list. I don't know where I would fit a third AB. In Arcane Barrier. I'm 100% inclined to agree with you. I have no idea where I would put it. But one of the members of our team definitely thinks that it's the way to be going, and that we should be on it. So, I mean, that we should be on AB3 because it covers breakpoints. So, like, I have a hard time cutting any of the cards from our list. I feel like the list that our team has put together is like pretty tuned. I feel pretty comfortable with it, like into certain matchups and other matchups. Giving them a second Frostbite is completely backbreaking here. The fact that our opponent used Storm Striders as early as they did is very weird. I don't really understand why they did that. Now, obviously, I couldn't see my opponent's hand, and I don't know what they were doing, but it feels very wrong to me. Pitch Frostlock to activate Lexi. Have 2 floating. Ah, dude, you can't play that. Like, you can't do anything. You're going to lose your channel here. Like, this is, like, again, not to pick on my opponent, but clearly this person is not an experienced Icelander player, kind of what Mattis was talking to earlier. Like, you can just kind of tell by the decisions they're making and the way that they're playing. Now, you know, they weren't in a request undo lobby. Like, I, you know, can respect them, like, you know, trying to learn the deck. Like, I had to play I probably had to play 50 games on Icelander before I felt like I was even capable of understanding what was happening. And now they have a E-Strike in their arsenal and they've screwed themselves. It makes more sense, but the problem is only solves in case. Anything in your turn comes after the load, so you never end up using the third unless you have 3 blue hands. I mean, yeah, no, I 100% agree. And that makes sense. Like, and that's pretty much been my argument the whole time. So trenching does not gain me. Well, actually, it does gain me a resource. Actually, I don't have to do anything here. They can't do anything, and I'm just going to end with my arsenal as a hamstring shot. I'm going to go Falcon Wing for. I'm going to flip Lexi, Falcon Wing for 4, hamstring shot for 5, searing shot for 2. The searing shot will get eaten by the Coronet Peak here. More than likely, once they see the searing shot, they'll leave the Coronet Peak for that. Icelander is really hard. Icelander is really hard, even if you know the patterns. Decisions are so complex. Yes, absolutely. Icelander is one of the hardest things I've ever learned about this game. After Michael Hamilton won Worlds with Icelander, I was already on the fence about it. But after he won Worlds with Icelander, I was like, I'm going to play it. I already had all the cards for it, but I was like, I'm going to play it. I'm going to sleeve it up and play it. And I think I spent, like, seriously, like, I would say, like, probably the first 50 games at minimum before I felt like I even had a concept of what was going on with the deck. Icelander was by far the hardest thing I ever learned to play. Icelander taught me so many things about Flesh and Blood that I thought I understood, that I did not, like, at all. So, ooh, little Blizzard action, huh? So I'm gonna pay 2 and then pitch a hamstring shot for the searing shot here. Get another. I guess my opponent doesn't have to give me a card here. They don't have to. And then I still get to arsenal my hamstring shot like I'd planned. But yeah, Icelander is by far, like, the hardest deck I've ever played in this game. Like, bar none. Like, it's not close. There's nothing else that has touched that surface, in my opinion. It's a very hard deck to play. I also feel like my transition from Icelander to Oldhim, I benefited a lot from Oldhim because of some of the things I had learned from playing Icelander over the last, 4 months. And so, like, it just really helped taking my game to the next level there, I feel like. Like, responding to your own triggers so you close your opponent's window on some plays, it's super hard. That's why I'm not on it. I'm too dumb, so I just smash in arrows. Well, I don't believe that you're dumb for a second, brother. But I definitely get what you're saying, that, like, it's just, like, it's hard to learn patterns and learn, like, certain styles of play. I completely get that. They chose draw card, so I'm going to hang on to my cards here and see what they do. I haven't used my Snapdragons yet, so I think I'm just going to lean on pitching my searing shot to throw my hamstring shot and see what happens here. So, and Matt, as you probably understand this from playing other card games, but like something that I learned that people in my area did not understand very well when I started playing Flesh and Blood was like the chain and instance and like priority. Like people in my testing group and my friends group didn't really understand that about the game when I started playing. They didn't really understand priority and like, you know, and things like that, and like how that kind of stuff worked and how instance worked with the chain. And I feel like coming from Magic, I had so much of that knowledge already built into my head that I was able to already like make a I was already able to like understand a lot about the game that like certain people didn't know from my friend group when I started playing. I think playing 11 rounds of a tournament on Icelander has to fatigue your brain for permanent damage. Can't imagine, and all respect for any player that takes it. Yeah, Icelander's a lot. So the funny part about you saying that about, you know, 11 rounds, I've never played Icelander to calling or anything, but I played Icelander at multiple ProQuests this first ProQuest season back in January, and I feel like I genuinely feel like I picked up like it's very fatiguing to play that deck mentally. I 100% agree with you on that. So let's throw this for 5, and if they give me both their cards, I'm just going to play the Rain Razors here because it ends the game. Or I guess if they give me both their cards, I can just throw the Endless Arrow for 5. I guess it's 6 in one, half dozen in the other. I'm not going to block any of this. I'm just going to go to 18 here. They're forced to give me their last 2 cards, which they block 5 on. Our yellow Rain Razors allows us to load Voltaire for the last time and then hit them with an Endless Arrow. We get to kill them and we get to keep an Endless Arrow in our arsenal, so good game, opponent. Most Icelander games I feel like aren't lopsided that much in my favor. That was definitely different than I'm used to. All right, well, 2-0 on the night. That's a pretty good start to the night here. I mean, let's play against Levia. Like, look, I'm taking almost any game I can get a hold of right now. Like don't get me wrong, like, there are definitely decks I want to play against. Like, I want to play against Bravo. I want to play the Mirror. Like, I want to play against Icelander. I want to play against Dramai. Like, all of these are things that I need to play against. I want to play against Azuri. Like, all of these decks are decks that I need to play against. But like, I'm now like 48 or 49 games into this deck. At this point, I'm just taking as many reps as I can get to play it. I'm curious to see if they choose to go first. Yeah, they chose to go second, which I think is correct for them, but I also want to go second, so map is 100% Icelander favored, but sometimes you can high roll them when they draw poorly and see no Insidious Chills. It's funny to hear you say that because like all the Icelander players that like I've seen talk about it like on their streams, and like when they talk about this matchup, they talk about how they don't like it because they feel like Lexi's just running them over. But I think Icelander's favored also. Let me rephrase. I think the arcane only version of Icelander is favored. I do not think Bullander is favored in this matchup. Bullander is designed around the idea that I'm going to maximize every point I can, and I'm going to like not always tax you on your turns. And they're stuck arsenaling a lot of reds. And I don't think that that's a great. I just don't think that's how you beat Lexi anymore. Like, I just don't think that's how you like really need to be playing. I don't think Bullander's very good right now, personally. I could be horribly wrong. I don't know. So what do they reveal? An Insidious Chill? I probably would have set the Insidious Chill up if I'm being honest, and then arsenaled that personally, but we'll pitch the Infecting Shot here, and then we'll just pay the 2 to prevent it here. That's just because they are not good. You don't play the poor attacks. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that like the attacks are the way to be going in that matchup. Specifically, like I don't think that's how you want those to be going. You have to run defense reactions. Are you talking about if you're Icelander? Like, you need to be running defense reactions? All right, so let's throw Bolt and Shot. Now, this absolutely 1000% every day of the week and twice on Sunday screams Rain Razors. If you like play against Lexi a lot and you're not aware that this screams Rain Razors, let me know, please. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it so I don't have to worry about the cold snap garbage. I don't want to pay an extra resource. I'd rather keep my resources to play around the Frostbite here so that I can play my other Bolt and Shot into my Endless Arrow here. That's what I would rather do here. Going first, not playing Insidious Chill is already griefing, but let's see if he cooks. I mean, I agree with you. Like, it is 100%. If you go first, you have to play Insidious Chill. Like, if you open Insidious Chill, like that or Frost Hex are like cards that immediately scream get put on the table as soon as humanly possible, just because of how good they are. So this is going to be for 5 on hit reload. I find it very intriguing that they blocked that. Like, maybe I guess I have a 1-cost arrow, but like you can just block the 1-cost arrow. So I'm pretty surprised to see them block that there, because now they're going to go to 29 and give me my Endless Arrow back. It's a pretty good start to our game here. They now don't have an arsenal. I mean, pitch Endless Arrow to play Icequake. Pitch Bolt and Shot to play 3 of a Kind. Feels pretty good here. We found out that when you open Chill going first, your win rate versus Rexy goes up like 10 to 15%, which is a lot when it's already winning. I mean, putting any, like, if your win percentage is 50% and your win percentage goes up 10 or 15%, that's insane. Like, you literally, like, your win percentage went up 20% of what it was. So, like, I completely understand. Like, opening Chill, I feel like I won so many games opening Chill that I didn't always open. That I probably wouldn't have won had I not opened Chill when I was a big Icelander player. So, brother, I hear you. I hear you, brother. So we're just going to go +1 here because this is going to come in for 6. On hit, you get a Frostbite. This is the kind of hand that we need to open with to really put Lexi on the back foot, or to put Icelander on the back foot early. This is like one of the opening hands that you want to see that really taxes your opponent a lot and makes them be in awkward situations. So they give us 2 cards there. Mistake in my opinion. I don't think they should give us cards there. The Bolt and Shot text is just go again, on hit, get a Frostbite. I do not think it's correct to block that out. If they take 4, they get a Frostbite, which already taxes, so they're going to block there. And then this Endless Arrow is going to be for 4, which means they're probably going to give me their card and an Iron Rock Gauntlet. It might honestly be, I think it's correct to throw the Endless Arrow here, because if they want an Arsenal, I was like, they're forced to keep their cards. I just pitched a blue, so let's go Bolton, Endless, Winter's Bite. They again have no arsenal. Let's pitch a Searing or a Heat Seeker to play 3 of a Kind. See what we find. We find all reds. So we can pitch Heat Seeker for Falcon Wing, pitch Infecting Shot for Searing Shot, and then go Arsenal or Heat Seeker here. Worth it 100%? Yeah, I agree. After I thought about it for a second, it definitely made sense to me. Now, this is the kind of hand that they're going to, like, definitely take tempo or, like, try to set up an arsenal. This is going to be, like, their quote-unquote swing turn. Interesting that they block with, like, one of their best cards. We're going to go Heat Seeker, Infecting Shot, Heat Seeker on the bottom of our deck. They may give us 2 cards here and then just arsenal their last card and say, I'm only down 5 points. and you've played some pretty solid cards here, and try to crawl back into the game. I do have a 5-card hand here. I have 2 blues in my hand, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Let's activate Lexi and see what they do. Having 2 blues here puts me in a pretty good spot. If I was able to flip Lexi and give them a Frostbite, I would absolutely 100% play my Winner's Bite here. Probably after my first attack. But, and I say after my first attack because if I keep my blue Winner's Bite, it allows me to play around Blizzard. So they're going to take my red arrow here. They're going to take my Searing Shot, my red Searing Shot, and put it on top of my deck. More than likely, because I have 2 blues. They can't take a blue from my hand. Well, I mean, they can, but it doesn't hamper my turn. If they take my red arrow, I only get to throw 1 red arrow at them. Yep, that is by far your best play there. I'm going to pitch Winner's Bite to load Searing Shot with Go again. Play Icequake. And then we're going to come in with Searing Shot for 5. On hit, you get a Frostbite. On hit, lose a life. Now, if they have Blizzard, it's not the end of the world because I'm still able to keep my cards here. You should respond with Voltaire to load it, no? So if I respond, they're going to take one of the cards that I don't want out of my hand. Yes, you're 100% right. Mattis, I should have done that. That would have been better. It allows me to keep... the arrow that I want to throw there. Yes. That is definitely the best situation that I could have come up with. Good call. Good catch, man. Good catch. That's definitely what I should have done. We're not doing a lot of damage right now, but we are keeping them all in the back foot. Let's start by activating Voltaire. We're going to load Searing Shot with Go again. I'm going to pay 2 here. 100% going to pay 2 here. And so now we're just going to AB. We're not going to pay for the Polar Blast because we don't care about it. And we're just going to pitch our Rain Razors to AB here. And we're going to load our Searing Shot into our arsenal at the end of the turn here. They'll probably give us 2 cards if I had to guess. They're just okay taking 2. Gonna arsenal this. We're gonna go Rain Razors in Searing Shot. Coronet Picas. I'm going to... Do I have an Infecting Shot in my... I do not have an Infecting Shot, so I'm gonna give them the Remorseless here. I mean, I could just trench away the Searing Shot if I wanted to. Easy trench. So, why do you think that's an easy trench there? Like, I'm genuinely curious because I want to keep my resources here and I already have a 0-cost arrow. Any Frostbite doesn't allow me to play both of my arrows there. So why is it an easy trench to you? I'm genuinely curious. I'm not trying to, like... Not ragging on you, I'm curious. Like, I genuinely want to know why that's an easy trench. So the next thing I'm going to do costs 3. Costs 2 more. So this is going to cost 2. So pitch Remembrance to play Codex. Or I'm sorry, pitch Infecting Shot, then Remembrance to play Codex. Get a red Searing Shot. And then attack for 4. The other option is pitch Infecting Shot and Remembrance to play Searing Shot, but I like the Codex better. because they haven't showed us an attack yet, so the Codex doesn't actually do anything against them. They don't have to like discard their cards or anything, but it gives us a 6-card hand and forces them to take some damage if they want to be able to keep their... Let's just throw the Searing Shot. They decide to use Tunic to Waning Moon us. We'll take 2 here, AB1, and then Arsenal our Codex. Yep. They're going to take 2, go to 21 here. Now they're going to Waning Moon us. Yep. So I don't know why they wouldn't here. So we're going to go to 30. We start the game up 4 points. We're now up 9 points, which means we have created 5 points of advantage for us over the course of the game. We'll pitch a Codex here. Like, we'll pitch a Codex. That does not, like that, this hand's very awkward. Now it makes sense they Coronet you, never peek, unless you have channel. Now it makes sense they Coronet. You never peek unless you have channel. I mean, why do you say that? Because I've definitely Coronet peeked when I haven't had a channel out because it was the only logical play I could make because I needed to block something. You have very strong opinions about stuff, and I don't know that I fully understand all of it. Patch infecting shot. Yeah, I don't care about the dominate. Attack for 5. They'll give us 2 cards here, I imagine, to stop this. Or they might give us 1 card because they realize that because of their channel lake, we're done. We don't have anything else we can do. Unless they possess the capability... Like, if they possess the capability to keep their... channel lake around again by giving me 1 card and keeping 2 of their cards, then they might do that. Yeah, so that's the start of that. So it was 9 points. Now it's 8 points, which means they're 1 step closer. Okay, so they can't keep that. Frosting is revealed. They cannot keep that. It feels like we almost always trench the random Coronet activations unless the card is setting up for the big turn. But yeah, in this case where you were trying to play for value, it's a different theory. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, like, I hear you on the trenching, like, for the random Coronet peak nonsense. That makes sense to me. So... Alright, my opponent said they'll be right back. As I said in our testings, we always play for big turns because in neutral games, good Icelanders will win on tempo. Okay, so you're just always trying to play for a bigger turn. Okay, I mean, that's fair. So if I pitch my Frostlock here... I can AB2. What did they reveal? A Frosting? And then... So we'll keep as much of a life advantage as we can here. It's very close to the Oldhim matchup in theory. So I was always on the other side of Oldhim in that matchup. Like I was always on Oldhim's side during that matchup. I played Oldhim a lot when Lexi got big. I played Oldhim all through RTN season, and I played Oldhim a little. Something happened to Curly in the other room. I played Oldhim a lot in Baltimore at the calling and stuff. So I'd never actually played on the Lexi side of things. It was always the Oldhim side that I was playing on. Trying to figure out how to beat Lexi, how to fatigue Lexi. We'll go for Frostlock and Falcon Wing. They're probably just going to go ahead, and do nothing, I guess. Interesting. So I'm going to load Drill Shot first. If I put a counter on the Coronet Peak, they're more likely to block with that sooner. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Codex, because if I load the Endless Arrow, our turn's done. They're going to play Frost and give us a Frostbite and end our turn. So I should have pitched the Endless Arrow to load that, and then pitched Rain Razors. Well, most of the bad Lexis got fatigued easily. After we got smarter and played Codex of Inertia for 3 big turns and take the Rampart, it was impossible to win for Oldhim. So it's funny, I hear a lot of people say that it was impossible for Oldhim to win. I beat 3 players in the top 50 in ELO in the world on Oldhim, and they were playing Lexi, who had been doing nothing but playing that matchup. So I think that, like, honestly, like, I think saying that it's impossible for them to win with tech is, I honestly think, just inaccurate, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Like, I just don't think that's a fair, like, calling to that matchup. Like, I hear you. Like, Lexi's definitely got better over the course of time, and players became more evolved and better at understanding the matchup and their roles in the matchup. But I think to say that, like, it was impossible for Oldhim to win, like, I don't care how much tech you had. Like, I beat some really good players in that matchup because I had practiced it and because I understood the matchup and my role in it. Like, I think I'm going to pitch the Winner's Bite here. I guess I could AB 2 here. No, I'm just going to AB 1 with the Winner's Bite and then pay 2. Keep a 7-point life lead here and go into our next turn. So we're going to activate Lexi here, give our opponent a Frostbite. They're going to play Channel, okay. I mean, that's fine. They're going to have to get a Frostbite at some point here. They have no idea that yellow Winner's Bite's coming, and it's going to tax their hand a little bit. Is this the 3rd Channel Lake? Or is this just the 2nd one? Is this just the 2nd Channel Lake? Ugh. I was definitely hoping that was the 3rd. I was referring to times when Lexi tried to combat fatigue with Remembrance and Abyssal Depths, but that did not work out. You had to perfect pitch stack with Rusting to close out the game. But yeah, okay, yeah. So no, I mean, I agree, that's fair. Like, Abyssal Depths wasn't enough to save you like, Abyssal Depths wasn't enough to save you. And the funny part is, like, people played Remembrance, like, which was such a weird concept to me. So the question is, if we pitch Frostlock to load, it's going to cost 1, 2, 3. We load Hamstring Shot, throw Hamstring Shot for 6, leave Icequake in our arsenal. I think that's the play here. I'm surprised my opponent didn't activate Tunic and then throw Waning Moon at me. I'm going to go Winter's Bite, then Frostlock, just because of our pitch stack and the way we've set up the last couple of hands. My opponent blocks 6. Uses Tunic to get rid of their Frostbite here so that they can keep their channel around. Smart play by my opponent. Yeah, sure. If they want to, that's fine. It messed up your stack, so you were hoping the second cycle doesn't line up badly with Spinal, and you can imagine how many times that turned out badly. Yeah, I get that. There were a lot of times that, like, I honestly, like, would, like, find that, like, Lexi was taking the turn off to set up, and I had Command & Conquer Pummel pitch stacked. Now, I'd like to tell you that I'm good enough to have known that my pitch stack was coming around, but I'm not. I'm not that good. Like, I'm just not that good of a player. So, Channel's going to make everything cost 1 more. Icequake costs 2. Voltaire costs 2. Throwing Bolt and Shot costs 1. So I need 2, 4, 6 resources so I can pitch the Bolt and Shot and then throw Remorseless for 9 on hit Frostbite. I'm actually going to go ahead and load the Remorseless first here. Because if they want to crack their Striders, they can shut my turn down. Now, it's possible my opponent just didn't notice that, but my opponent also may have not just wanted to do that. They also just didn't want to, may not have wanted to just, like, to crack Striders. They may have felt like Striders was more worth it later. They're going to try and have a tempo swing here. I can feel it. I was like, this is an Ether Ice Vein if I've ever seen one. So I'm just going to go to 16 here. They're going to keep their channel 1 more turn because they have Insidious Chill and Blizzard. Now, they don't have an Arsenal, which is kind of nice. Load Drill Shot with +1. Come in for 5. I have an 8-point life lead, and I'm getting close to where they can kill us here. Desperation plays. Yeah, them keeping channel around is definitely them trying to stay in the game here. Okay, Sink Below. Interesting. I honestly wonder if it would have been better for them to keep their Insidious Chill and then give me Coronet Peak and Sink Below there. I like having 2 blues here. Can't do anything about this, unfortunately. They might take one of our blues. They take our Falcon Wing. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate Infecting Shot. Let's go Bolt and Shot for +1. I'm going to throw Bolt and Shot for +1, and then I'm going to throw Infecting Shot. I have no interest in loading the Bolt and Shot, and then them giving us a Frostbite, and us only being able to throw the Bolt and Shot for 3 here. I am going to activate Quiver here. Feels like as good an opportunity as any. I'm going to activate it as an instant here in the reaction step. And if we hit something that we need to play, if we hit something we want to play, I'm going to snap this. Let this be a good hit, please. I mean, that's fine. I don't think this is a snap and throw this. Like, I mean, it's 3 more points, but I think I'd rather just keep this in my arsenal. Like, there's no reason for me to snap this here. I can just go to 11 here. Like, honestly, I don't even think they fused it. We go to 9, and then we get to try and throw 3 arrows at my opponent here. Let's go Falcon Wing for 3. Having 2 blues in our hand. No coronet, so it can stay. I'm gonna pitch Infecting Shot to go Bolton Shot for +1. We're getting to the point to where they're gonna have to start like blocking pretty quickly here. And if they try to go for like Storm Strider shenanigans, I have AB2 and I have blues, so I'm okay. The fact that Coronet Peak is gone kind of opens us up to some better lines here. No, I'm good. Does kind of give me the line that I could go for something better if I could have loaded the Drill Shot and then went for Hamstring Shot go again into Drill Shot to try and get him here. But I think I'm better off just playing the Drill Shot or like loading the Drill Shot, and then I can actually use the Drill Shot. I'm going to Trench here. I'm going to Trench and go Heat Seeker, Infecting Shot, keep Endless Arrow in my hand. I think that's one of the better plays I can make here. Use my resources effectively. Heat Seeker with Go again. If they have a Blizzard, then yeah, that's kind of the situation I was afraid of. So I'm not going to pay. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to pay. There's nothing that we can do here. If they do decide, like, I know that they played the Blizzard from their arsenal, so they're not going to play anything. We're almost at a point where we're going to fatigue him here. Like, I know that like 12 cards is a lot, so I'm not saying that we're like actually like in fatiguing range here, but like we're getting close. We're close enough to where it can be done. I definitely should have arsenal both of my cards. So I can, when they block with Tunic and the 2 cards that they block with, I can pitch to load Endless Arrow and then Arsenal Infecting Shot, which is a much better play than just arsenaling one of my cards. I'm giving myself an opportunity to get 2 reds out of my hand and to have blues, which is important. So we spend 2 resources to get rid of the Frostbite. I'm going to load the Endless Arrow with +1, and then I'm just going to pass and arsenal my Infecting Shot, and then I can always trench my Infecting Shot if needed. They are now out of equipment block, and now in a position where we can try to put the pressure on them. This is 1000% trench right here. Like, this is trench all the way. I think the play was to go Endless first, because if they block with Tunic, it's fine. You mean to throw Endless Arrow at them first instead of the Heat Seeker that we did? Or I can't remember what exactly we threw last turn, but... So... Let's go... We're going to load Heat Seeker here, keep a blue in our hand, and then try to use Rain Razors to push us over the top this turn. depending on what they have. Our blues have lined up pretty well this game to where we've just had like at least one, sometimes blue in almost every hand, almost two in every hand. Let's see if they have a sink below. I think we've only seen two. No, we've seen all three, so this is game right here. Now they're going to try and kill me? Nice. Kill me, kill me, kill me. No, I'm kidding. I obviously don't want to die, but I don't think they can kill me from here. Really? Like, I don't think it's physically possible. They would have had to have went for it beforehand. So that definitely felt like a play slower and take our turns when they come up game. There were definitely some times when I feel like I played a little more aggressively. We also got off to a pretty hot start that game, so started off pretty fast with a Rain Razor's 3-arrow turn. Also, getting back around to my pitch stack was very valuable because the further we got back around to our pitch stack, the better it was looking. Like the better the game was just going to look for us because we had pitched two blues in almost every hand when we were pitch stacking to try and make sure that we didn't have an awkward hand there. Well played. Got to go. 5 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's 5 a.m. there. That is absolutely insane. Need to get some sleep. Have fun and good luck in your games. Thanks, Mattis. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you hanging out tonight, and I hope you sleep well, brother. Oh, a rematch, huh? Well, let's run it back. See how it goes this time around. We've just taken out as many reds as we can in this matchup. I didn't talk about this earlier. All right, my opponent doesn't want to play... Doesn't want to rematch me, which is fine. Like, I get it. Carly's apologizing to somebody. Something bad must have happened in the other room. I think she's playing Fortnite or Apex or something. Oh, no. I think we want to go second in this matchup, too. I think. I don't know. Kano is like a weird... They always pick to go second against me. So I'm just going to pick to go second against them. We brought in like all of our resource cards here. Maybe Arctic Incarceration, but they play at instant speed, so I don't think it's necessary. I've only played one Kano and I lost, so I'm curious to see how this game goes. Kano, and we're going second. Prank him, John. Hit me with it. What are you hitting me with? Sonic Boom! We're going to pitch a Frostlock, load Searing Shot. I'm going to take one here because I think keeping Rain Razors and 3 of a kind in my hand is just better than... It's worth more than 1 point in my head, so... I think it's worth more than 1 point in everybody's head, so... Alright, let's see if we can draw something up here. So, Rain Razors, we're going to pitch Codex to play 3 of a kind. And... we're going to try and get them. I'm hoping we can just put on an immense amount of pressure right here on their early turns. I'm going to go hamstring shot for go again. I mean, this is going to be a 18/19 point turn depending on how they block. We're also playing against Kano. This could easily be a 37-point turn for them. Oh, it's almost humorous. I'm going to name +1 here, so it comes in for 8. I'd rather get all the points I can out of this, and then I'm just going to snap this here because Snapdragons has no AB. It does nothing. I'd rather just get the extra points in if I can. And then let's come in with a Searing Shot for 4 on hit, lose a life. So our opponent's going to go to 13 here. We get a Heat Seeker trigger. We're going to go Codex Winter's Bite and then Arsenal this. It's a pretty good card to draw into here. What? Wow. Hamstring Shot. Being worth the resource in the Kano mirror. We'll take it. Or in the, not the mirror, but the matchup. Yeah, I guess let's block with the Infecting Shot here. That's actually hilarious that the Hamstring Shot came up and was relevant. That's great. Oh, that's classic. Rich. You'll love to see it. Let's leave as many cards as we can in our hand to give ourselves an opportunity here to not die. All right, so let's go for 5. Our opponent goes to 8. I imagine they're going to try and kill us this turn. I'm going to go Endless Arrow with Go again here. My Kano opponent can put together a 34-point turn so quickly, it's sad, honestly. Like, it genuinely makes me want to cry a little bit, how easy it is for them to put together a 34-point turn. So I mean, I would be baffled if they let this one hit also, but maybe they just don't care. So we have 2 cards in our hand. They know they're Endless Arrow. 3 of a kind, Infecting Shot, Bolden Shot, Hamstring Shot, Arsenal, Endless Arrow. I don't know why there's such a gap there. It's a weird thing, but okay. But okay. Uh-oh. I'm in danger. They shuffle their hand into their deck and then draw that many cards +1. We'll take 2, that's fine. Then they're going to play Lesson in Lava here for 3. Or actually, I guess they're going to activate Kano and then do that. 32 points is their combo turn, so I guess Aether, they can play both of them here. Our opponent, I'm very surprised to see that they're still, yeah, I'm just going to take 3, go to 29. I'm going to try and kill them this turn. I'm going to try and put them in a spot where they have to physically block or kill me. Now, I have done that a lot faster this game than I normally do. So, they put Lesson in Lava on top of their deck. Interesting. I'm going to load Endless Arrow off the Bolden Shot. We're going to come in for 4 and see what they do. All right, they're going for it. I have a video. I think that's one of my favorite parts about like streaming and like playing cards at home is the concept that I can sit here and like make these goofy faces and do this kind of stuff if I want to, because I can't do that against a real opponent. Like, it's just, you know, you can't do that kind of stuff in real life. It's like not professional, as they say. God, don't let me be dead, please. Don't let me be dead. Don't let me be dead. Stop it. Stop it. Well, let's AB2. They're going to use their tunic to play Lesson in Lava. I'm going to AB2 that and hope I'm not dead. So 7 and 4 is 11. And 6 is 17. Are they one short? Did I count right? Are they one short? Please let me have counted right. I'm not very good at Kano math. While I'm young, play the card! Do the roar! I don't even know what that's from, but Allie and Kyle do that all the time. Oh, it's only 13. I can't count, but it's good for me. Yay! And then you block with Tunic and die. Pfft. Woo! We did it. Hooray! Boy, Simo, we did it. Da-da-da-da-da, or whatever Dora says. Damage dealt, 16, 10, and 3. I dealt 22 damage on that last turn. I don't know how I miscounted. So, we took 5 and 4 is 9. And 9 and 4 is 13. Okay, so that's where I miscounted at. Cool. I'll take that. Like, man, beating Kano feels good. Now, it takes a high roll to beat it, apparently, but it feels good. Man, all right. Well, that was that one felt good to win. I won't lie. Like it's nothing personal against Kano. Like the people that play Kano, like there's a very high skill ceiling there in my head. Like, and I have great respect for those people. But like, nothing feels worse than getting cheesed out. Bravo, Porichu. No idea if I said that. Porichu. Poriuchi? Yeah, I hope I'm saying that right. All right, so our idea in the Bravo matchup is that we don't want to get fatigued, so we don't bring in Yellow Winner's Bites, we don't bring in Codex of Inertias, and we don't bring in Down and Dirties. We're just on the 67 cards here. Everything else seems good enough. I feel like this matchup is also important to note that you need to have some patience with this matchup. There are turns you need to be ready to take off and let Bravo have a turn. Like, that's something that I feel like enough people don't really, like, wrap their heads around, in my opinion. This is an awkward hand because, like, no matter what we do, we're going to leave ourselves open to, Command and Conquer. Now, if our opponent decides to throw hammer at us, I will very quickly block with Infecting Shot, Winner's Bite, Pitch Codex of Frailty to Hamstring Shot. Like to keep my life total as high as I can for as long as I can. Also, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Trying to get some last minute testing in before Nats. I'm super pumped. Also, if you watch my channel, like, and you watch any of my videos, whether it's live or, you know, Let's see. So, okay, interesting. Anyway, like whether you like if you watch my videos or anything, you know, I like if you guys see me in Vegas, you know, like please come say hi, come hang out. I'm happy to hang out and like, you know, I love to meet people, so, you know, please come by and say hi and hang out. All right. If we pitch Codex here, if we pitch Codex to load Hamstring Shot and they come out with Command and Conquer, we have to give them Infecting Shot, Hornet Sting to play around it. Is that worth it? I think so. What are the chances they have it on turn 0, right? Like, not super high. I really don't want to give up equipment on turn 0, but I will to keep my Hamstring Shot. Hamstring Shot's very good in this matchup, in my opinion. They're also playing Tunic, so we need to be aware of them having blues. Them having Tunic up to play around our blue Winter's Bite. I honestly think I'm just going to go Searing Shot, Hamstring Shot, Arsenal my Winter's Bite here and set up for next turn. Drawing 2 0-cost arrows is pretty good. I could play the Winter's Bite and take an extra card out of my opponent's hand, but I am a big believer in the concept that you want to be arsenaling your ice cards to tax your opponent as much as possible. And us arsenaling our Winter's Bite this turn will also come on a turn when they will not have Tunic up, so it puts us in a better spot. It's also worth noting that Tunic probably means they're on Oasis Respite. If I had to guess, they're probably like on a pretty hard Fatigue Bravo. So Tunic probably means that they're on Respite, and it also means that they're that they have 2 less equipment block, I suppose, because they don't have the tectonic plating that Bravo typically plays. So all important things to note in this matchup. Interesting. Crown this early. I do have Command and Conquers in my list. Now, Command and Conquer, like, we don't have Pummel to threaten, obviously, so, like, it's going to be way less intimidating, but, I mean, Command and Conquer still demands 2 cards if they have an arsenal they want to keep, and, you know, that's not for nothing, so it's Arsenal our last card. Speak of, and it shall appear, huh? Eh. Okay, so if I give Drill Shot, Command and Conquer, and Perch Grapplers here, I can still have a turn. Three of a Kind kind of bailing me out here. Now, the Remembrance is a little awkward, but I think that's okay. My opponent's going to go up to 64 and then down to 60, so they're already up a card on us. Let's start with the Winter's Bite here. Let's not give them any more information than we need to. Three of a Kind, pitch Remembrance, leaves us with a resource floating. So hopefully, I was like, we hit some arrows here. This is an interesting decision. Okay, so we could go Bolt and Shot for +1 with the on-hit reload, and we could load Codex of Frailty and then get a Drill Shot or a Searing Shot here, discard our Infecting Shot. I could also activate Quiver with Bolt and Shot right now, see what we get, and then if we whiff, we're stuck pitching Codex and Bolt and Shot to throw Infecting Shot for 6, which is not great. I think let's go for the Quiver play here. Like, I don't hate activating Quiver right here to see what we hit. We do hit a Hamstring Shot, so... Oh, yeah, we already had a resource, so we're going to go again. And then we're going to go again and then into the hamstring shot here for 5. So we ended up blocking 8, and then off the back of a 3 of a kind, we're going to throw 10 points worth of arrows with 2 relevant on-hit effects. So pretty good turn all the way around, all things considered, at where the turn could have been and how we started. So I won't complain too much about that. There were definitely worse things to hit than red hamstring shot. Give us a card of buckler. We're getting their equipment pretty early, which I'm a pretty big fan of. The earlier you get Bravo's equipment, the better off you're looking in this matchup. So we're going to go back up to 58 and then down to 53. I'm going to go Codex, Bolt and Shot, Remembrance in order of my pitch stack here. They're going to give me Terra Sunder, and then they're going to Arsenal their last card, or if they don't care about it, they're just going to throw it at me here. Yeah, so they want to keep their last card to Arsenal. It might be a defense reaction. They're just going to play Sigil. I would have Arsenaled that, to be honest. Like, I think it's a better play to Arsenal that there. Let's go Bolt and Shot for +1, because the on-hit effect actually looks like on the surface it's going to matter, but it's not. It's not. Okay, so they drew a defense reaction. We seen one already? No, just 2 sigils. So they give us a Fate Foreseen, so they're on 3 Fates and 3 Sinks, if I had to guess. I'm going to go Falcon Wing for +1 here, and then Arsenal my Heat Seeker and try to set up with a 5-card hand here. My opponent's just going to take 4 because this card says do nothing. Like, it's a 0 for 4 with go again, basically. Ruh-roh, Raggy. A Choke Slam. So if I take 8 and go to 29 here, that is incorrect. That is incorrect. Block Command and Conquer, take 5, go Bolt and Shot with go again into Heat Seeker, pitching our Withering Shot. Or actually, no, it wouldn't even be pitching that. It would just be, it would be a 9-point turn. And then on worst case, we're arsenaling our Withering Shot. Best case scenario for us, we are arsenaling Withering Shot with another card that we just hit off of our Heat Seeker trigger. So I guess it really all depends on how they want to block this. The Chokeslam text is relevant here because we don't get the name +1. We do name go again. We could always load the Withering Shot and come in with Withering Shot for 5, go again, then pitch our Red Bolt and Shot to play Heat Seeker. We're leaving ourselves with no arsenal, which does play around the idea that they have a Command and Conquer pummel that they're going to hang on to. But it's also bad for us because we have no arsenal, and our key to winning these fatiguey matchups is by setting up good 5 and 6 card hands and pushing over the top. Kind of like me and James were talking about earlier in the stream, and like what we were talking about the last time I streamed. James was asking a couple questions about, you know, how like what my plan is into these kinds of matchups. And so now, to be fair, my Bravo opponent hasn't really played a fatigue style of game plan yet. This has definitely been more of a, like, they haven't really tried to fatigue me yet. I'm also curious to see what they use Tunic for. Like, maybe they're just using it to play choke slams. Maybe they have it because they're playing Command and Conquer Pummel and they're trying to do their best Oldhim impression. Like, it could be that. I mean, if you wanted to run Brothers in Arms, Rampart, and Tunic, and then like you wanted to play Respites and like all like some other cards, maybe you could like Staunches. You could try to do an Oldhim impression with Bravo, but it would be tough. I also think you'd have to be on skull cap. Honestly, I just think you'd have to be on skull cap. Let's see what they throw at us here. Just gonna throw the hammer at us. So withering shot. So drill shot. So activate Lexi, drill shot, pitching, infecting shot, heat seeker. Heat seeker with go again into withering shot, pitching the ice quake. I think this is a no blocks regardless here. I don't think we're really blocking the hammer here. I think the more turns that they take off to hammer us, the better off we are. Okay, so they're going to go to 29 and then Arsenal their last card. Now, it is worth noting that if they Arsenal a card, it has to be something that they can actually use. I think throwing 3 arrows here and not having an Arsenal is okay. Because we are taking we're taking a chance that we might be able to get an Arsenal here if they actually give us if they let us have the Heat Seeker trigger. So we've seen 1 Fate and 1 Sink here. So Heat Seeker with go again. If this hits, I'm definitely incentivized to give them the Withering Shot here for 5. Okay, so there's only 1 more Fate and 2 Sinks left in the deck. And if they're on Staunches, there's still 3 Staunches left in the deck if they're playing them. I know some people have kind of gravitated away from Staunches so far, so... So... let's just go ahead and pass an Arsenal this here. I think we're just going to try and set up and have a bigger turn. Yeah. Swing that hammer, big boy. I'll go to 24 here. I got no problem taking the hammer swings. I mean, sometimes I'll block just depending on, like, you know, what my hand looks like. Like, sometimes I'll need to block them. So pitch Frostlock. We're gonna load Bolton Shot for +1. This is gonna be for 7 on hit. You get or I'm sorry, 8 on hit. You get another Frostbite. I wasn't accounting for the +1 from Voltaire. It's just me being a Bagnon while I'm playing there. I don't know if I ever finished that thought from earlier, but anyway, if you guys are going to Vegas and you guys see me, you know, and like, you know, please say hi. Please come by and stop and talk to me. You know, I'd love to meet everybody from the channel and just kind of get to know everybody. You know, as I've streamed more, I've met a lot of people and made a lot of good friends along the way. And so I'd be more than happy to, you know, meet everybody and speak to any and everybody that wants to come by and say hi. So please come say hi if you see me and you recognize me in Vegas. I'd love to get to know you. I'm curious to see how they block here. They're almost out of equipment block, and if they're gonna give me a defense reaction, I was like, they're gonna have to pay, which I'm a big fan of. I'm gonna go Searing Shot for go again here. So this is gonna be for 2 go again. Maybe I was supposed to throw the Searing Shot for 5. Like maybe I'm just supposed to throw the Searing Shot for 5. They have 2 Frostbites, 1 because we flipped the Ice Quake with Lexi, and 1 because they let the Bolton Shot hit. This is for 5. If they block 3, take 2, they'd go to 22. They have to pitch a card here. It's like, yeah, so you pitch a card to play Sink Below, so you take 1, go to 23. So I think this is okay. I think this is fine if we pitch it this way. So the winner's bite. So what if I went Remorseless for +1, load Heatseeker, Arsenal Rain Razors? I think that's a better play. I think that's a much better play. We're getting to set up a 6-card hand with Rain Razors. And, I mean... Okay, so they're definitely going to be doing something here. The question is what? Like, there's no way they did that. They just did that without actually doing anything. Like, they didn't just take 6 like that. I mean, if they don't dominate a Crippling Crush, then we're okay. Dominate Crippling Crush is pretty bad for us because we have no choice here but to take 11, go to 13, and hope that we keep 3 of a kind and a card. Or honestly, we just need to keep 3 of a kind, I guess. Like, keeping 3 of a kind with anything is fine. I don't know. Like, also, if they do play an action, then we're turning our Remorseless into a 1 for 7. Oh, God. This is also pretty bad. I mean, they took 1 to do that, so they went to 16. I mean, so if I give Battering Bolt, or if I give Remorseless Hornet Sting Trench, man, I can block 5, take 5, and then I can swing the Battering Bolt. Or I can just block. Do I have an Infecting Shot over here already? Yeah, I do. So let's just block Infecting Shot, take 7. We're going to pitch Remorseless and Battering Bolt to load Voltaire and then pass. Try to make sure that we can use our 3 of a kind next turn. I'm just going to pitch these to load, hang on to our 3 of a kind. Like, and then we're just going to pass and hope that they don't have a powerhouse card. There are times that they actually get stuck with like blues that don't do that much in their hand. So I'm kind of hoping that's where they're at right now. It's really all I can hope for at this point is that they don't have like a Starstruck, Spinal Crush, or Crippling Crush. Or that if they do, they can't dominate it in any way. Also, this hand sucks. I have to say, we tried playing Down and Dirties in this matchup a couple of times, and there were a couple of times when blocking with Down and Dirty from Arsenal was insanely good. Because it would be the only card in my arsenal, and then they would throw Command and Conquer at me, and I would just block 2 and stare at them, and that's kind of cool. But that's pretty much like the ceiling of that card in this matchup, in my opinion. Do 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 do. So this screams pummel, in my opinion. Like, absolutely screams pummel. No reason for them to not dominate if they can't. This is, I mean... This is tough. I mean... If I block Arctic and Drill Shot, they're going to pummel and get rid of this. So it's tough to say what the play is here. I mean, I'm not going to be able to buff anything, so I might as well trench away my Rain Razors. Would be a waste of a card anyway here, so... Oh, man. This is a dang if you do, dang if you don't situation right here. Let's block 5. If they pummel us, we'll discard the winner's bite. Yeah, I was like, it screams pummel, but there's nothing we can do about it. Take 7, go to 10. Discard the winner's bite. You hate to see it, but at least if we trench away our Rain Razors and try to, like, have a turn here, we can take a little bit of tempo back, hopefully. Oh, man. Chokeslam was tough. I mean, they didn't have one of the power cards I hope that they didn't have, but they still had good cards. Ooh, man, this is tough. Needed a blue in there somewhere. +1, so we'll get them in for 4. If we can get them low enough, we can try to get them with the Hornet Sting, but most good players aren't gonna, like, get got by the Hornet Sting. Oh, it can't gain attack, can it? Yeah, because of the Chokeslam. Yeah, so it's fine. It's still just 3, so they're gonna go to 13. And then Heat Seeker for 5. Hopefully they have to give us 2 cards, and this isn't Crater Fist and Defense Reaction. Which it obviously is, which is just sad. Sad days are sad. How many 3 of a kinds have we played? 2, so there's 1 left. We've pitched 2 Rain Razors, I'm pretty sure, so far. So first cycle, there's a Rain Razors and a... there's a Rain Razors and a 3 of a kind. Hopefully they line up together. We'll need something like that to get us back into this game. There are no more Sigils. There are no more Sink Belows, and there's 1 more Fate Foreseen. Yeah. Man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Using Tunic, huh? Using Tunic to throw Crippling Crush, that's interesting. I mean, I think we just have to block 8 like this. It's unfortunate that our hand lined up this way, but it's just what has to be done. We're going to Codex, get a Searing Shot. A lot of lag there from Talishar. So we get a Searing Shot here. Like I guess if we get a Drill Shot, it forces them to give us the Tunic at least, I suppose. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. I guess that's fine. I mean, they could also just have another 0 for 4. They do have 1 Fate Foreseen left in their deck. And they're Bravo. They've already pitched quite a bit of cards. There's no way that they're close to pitch stack, but, I mean, they're probably in the ballpark. Like, I would say, like, we're at 35 cards. We're about 20 cards away. I would say they're probably also about 20 cards away. They've pitched more cards than us, so maybe not 20. They might be closer to like 15 or so. And we're probably not quite 20 away. We play so many cards, we're probably 15 away. They just decide to go to 8. Is this go to 8, or is this a defense reaction? Staunch response. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to choose War, put this on the bottom. Load Falcon Wing, I suppose. Actually, if I load Endless Arrow, I'm not giving up a point that way. because it's going to be 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, which is 4, 4, and 5 is 13. So we still have New Horizons, so this works for us. So we pitched Frostlock. We're going to go Falcon Wing for +1. I'm not going to lie, the fact that they had to just hammer us there is pretty nice. Or, I'm sorry, they didn't even hammer us. They just played Warmonger's Diplomacy. I love Trench for that reason. Trench single-handedly gives Lexi a way to play around Warmonger's Diplomacy and just not get blown out. And I'm a huge fan. So 5 go again. On hit, your weapon becomes a 3, or anything you throw from Arsenal. They could have another pummel. This feels like the Pablo list to a T. Like, this is honestly probably just the Pablo list, and if they're on Pablo's list, then they only have 2 pummels in their deck. Which is super convenient for me, because it means there's only 1 more to play around. And by play around, I mean die to, because I'm at 7. Ever played against Guardian, you just know you can't play around pummel. Like, it's just not really a thing you do. Like, it either kills you or it doesn't. Like, and you can, every now and again, you can play around it in some fashion. Okay, so they cover up our Withering Shot. And then they either have a 0 for 4 here, or they're going to give us a card in Tunic. Yep, and then they're going to throw the hammer for 4, put us to 3. Seven and 5 is 12 with threatening frostbites. I think we can go to 3 here for that. We could throw Bolton Shot for 4 and then just see if they let us reload. And if they do, we get to reload the Icequake, flip, give them a frostbite, and then throw the Searing Shot for 5 and then have it face up for next turn. But I think we're better off just taking the higher upside play of attacking them for 7, unless they have a staunch response, which as quickly as they pass, they have to. It's like they have to have a staunch response as quickly as they passed. It's like there's like 0 other options for them to have, in my opinion. Like, nobody passes that quickly without saying, yeah, I'm just going to not play around Rain Razors or I have a staunch response here. So if they take 3 and go to 5, they can't throw hammer. So they'd have to take 6, go to 2 to throw the hammer at me. I was like, and then if they did do that, they would only have, they would have 2 resources floating, which is a little terrifying. Endless Arrow into Battering Bolt. Or is it Endless Arrow into Withering Shot, 10 Arsenal the Battering Bolt? Feels like it's probably just Endless Arrow into Withering Shot. Because we can always trench away the Battering Bolt if we need to. Although Battering Bolt does work in this matchup. It's also worth noting that I might be down on life, but they're only up 10 cards. So Remembrance plus them being forced to block if we get to that point in the game really puts us ahead late in the game. Now I think we throw Battering Bolt. I guess let's pitch the Withering Shot here. If I get stuck with resources in an awkward spot, then Endless Arrow bails me out better. If they only block 3, they have to have a defense reaction. That, or I guess they're okay going to 4. Or going to 3, I mean, joining me at 3. If they're gonna, like, if they ever intentionally take damage to keep multiple cards in their hand, it screams pummel. They probably had a pummel in their arsenal for a couple turns now, and they're just trying to set it up to where they can kill us with it. Let's see if they have a reaction. No, they have Command and Conquer and Chokeslam. So they're just going to throw Command and Conquer at us. If I give them Drill Shot and Frostlock, I can pitch Searing Shot to go, Infecting Shot, go again into the Endless Arrow. So keeping the Withering Shot would have definitely just been better here. It would just be more damage. This gets a card out of their hand. They may only give me 1 card on the Endless Arrow. I'm not sure. If they don't feel like the Endless Arrow is a big enough threat, they'll... If they don't feel like the Endless Arrow is a big enough of a threat, which I can't imagine they feel that way, but if they do, they'll only give us 1 card and then let us keep it. If they have a pummel here, like if they've just drawn a pummel, or not if they've drawn a pummel, but if they have one in their arsenal, then they'll... If they have a pummel in their arsenal, which I don't think they do at this point in the game, they had the life total to play with earlier to try and do that and kill us with it. But if they have the pummel in their arsenal, then they'll only give us 1 card. And they'll give us 2 cards. They'll throw the hammer at us. Now, this is an interesting choice. Okay. So, I have to block with a card. My gut reaction tells me to block with Arctic Incarceration. So, if I block with Arctic Incarceration, I go to 1. And then I get to go activate Voltaire. Activate Voltaire. Play Rainrazor's Codex Battering Bolt for 8. I mean, I don't like being at 1 against Bravo. It's a very scary thing to discuss here, but feels like what has to be done at this point in the game to really keep myself in it. And then we're going to scroll down here to Battering Bolt, and we're going to come in for 8. Now, this requires 3 cards from my opponent, and then if they're going to, I was like, yeah, so they'll give us 3 cards. They'll throw the hammer. We can... When they go to... Okay, it's not a bad card. We can block with 1 card here. Because this is only for 3. If I block... If I block blue Bolt and Shot... Okay, if I block yellow Bolt and Shot... No, block blue Bolt and Shot. No. I needed this to be a 3 block. Or am I blocking blue Bolt and Shot to pitch Remembrance to go Bolt and Shot for 4 into get a Searing Shot for 4? Is that the play here? I think that's the play. I'd like to be able to codex the battering bolt back, but I just don't think it lines up. I could have spent more time trying to figure it out, but I don't think it lines up for me. So +1. This comes in for 4. We're also now at the point in the game where they're playing around Rain Razors the rest of the game because one single Rain Razors will kill them. And I'm pretty sure we have 2 left in our deck. Yeah, we have 2 Rain Razors left in our deck. Now we have 0 copies of 3 of a kind, and we have 1 copy of Codex left in our deck. There's 1 Codex left in our deck, 2 Rain Razors, and 0 copies of 3 of a kind. We're now at the point in the game where we're going to try to start fatiguing Bravo. Weird thing to say, but this is kind of the point in the game where the roles reverse a little bit. If we can keep the pressure up, get that freaking pummel out of here. God says you love to see it. Seeing that pummel get out of here makes me so happy. Makes me so freaking happy. Codex of Frailty is so good because it allows us to throw 3 arrows at our opponent and arsenal a card. Value. Codex of Frailty just being a 0 for 7 is absolutely bonkers. If our opponent doesn't have a defense reaction here of some variety, they're dead. Now, they could see this coming, so they could play around it, but... Oh, wow, they just said GG. Yeah, I'm down to rematch this guy. Absolutely. Let's see what my opponent wants to do here. Talishar, Bravo. Yeah, let's rematch. I'm down. Like I'm totally down to like rematch. I ran my normal 67 card sideboard plan right there against my opponent. Or no, we went second that game. All right, so this time we're gonna play against the same Bravo. He's obviously a good Bravo player. Like, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that. I've had people, you know, feel differently about certain opinions on things, but I felt like he was a good Bravo player. He seemed like he understood what was going on and when he needed to block with equipment to keep his cards flowing. Let's arsenal our Bolden Shot. We can always trench it away if we need to. I don't know what our opponent's going to throw at us here, but I kind of like... Fusing Frostlock isn't great, but I like the concept of fusing Frostlock because our opponent plays defense reactions here, and that's very important for us. I'm going to try to hang on to my equipment longer this game than I did last game. It's not always easy, but sometimes... The longer you can hang on to your equipment in the Bravo matchup, the better off you are. So, Winter's Bite, Trench, Withering Shot, or I'm sorry, so it's Winter's Bite. Let's just take 6 here. They pummel us. They pummel us. We discard the Frostlock. They had no reason to play pummel there. Winter's Bite to take a card out of your hand. They also didn't really use their Tunic last game. They only used it like once or twice. Yeah, this feels like the Pablo list with Tunic is what it feels like my opponent's on right now. Put Bolt and Shot on the bottom. Bolt and Shot with Go Again. Attack for 3, Go Again. Because the Chokeslam text is relevant, we can't hit +1. We'd just be playing ourselves. So we have to choose Go Again off our Voltaire. We're going to pitch Frostlock for Withering Shot with Go Again into Infecting Shot, which is a pretty good way to start the game. Puts us in a pretty decent place. Our opponent's probably not going to block this. They already have a card in their hand. Like, blocking a Bolt and Shot with no text is kind of silly. Now, obviously, you know, I do have the ability to work with more knowledge than my opponent does because I know what my hand is, but I'm making a decision just based off of pure cards and what I think about the game, and that it would be silly to block with that card. I played 5 games tonight. Is that how many games I played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I played 5 games so far. I mean, 5-0 on the night's pretty good. I'm hoping we can finish 6-0. This will probably be my last game because this is normally a longer game. So just based off how this matchup goes, this will probably be a longer game. Probably be my last one because it's a longer game is what I was trying to say. Okay, so there's Fate Foreseen. We also never saw a third Fate Foreseen unless I missed something last game, so that's something to keep note of. They may just be on 2 Fate Foreseens. They may have pitched it and I missed it. That does happen from time to time. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Block Falcon Wing to stay here. Throw Endless Arrow. Throw Endless Arrow with Go Again. Falcon Wing is cool, but like also our weakest card. It just happens to be good in certain scenarios where we need to face up cards in our arsenal. So we'll pitch Remorseless for second cycle because we know we're making it to second cycle. We'll come in for 4, Go Again. Yeah, they cover this up with a defense reaction, which is no problem with me. We could have came in for 5 to force their hand here, but if they know it's for 5, they're also not worried about us throwing another arrow. So I think you have to throw it for 4 and just let it get eaten by the defense reaction, unfortunately. Not really some good hands here to start off with. Our hands are pretty awkward. So if we trench Heat Seeker, we can load Battering Bolt, and then we could pitch Infecting Shot, then Rain Razors. Or I'm sorry, pitch Withering Shot, then Rain Razors, and Arsenal our Infecting Shot. I guess we could also... There's not a way... I don't think. I mean, Crippling Crush just demands that we give 3 cards. So this is one of those situations where I said you have to block and be patient. We're just going to take 2, go to 32. On my turn, I'm going to activate Lexi, flip Heat Seeker, and I'm going to arsenal my Rain Razors here. I'm just going to try to set up and have a 6-card hand. This isn't exactly what I had in mind. My opponent's already activating Bravo, so that's terrifying. Yep, so... I'd have to block 5 just to be able to play a Command and Conquer, and that doesn't really feel worth. So... I don't really know what the play is here. I think we block Command and Conquer, take 7, go to 25, which I'm not a big fan of, but I think we have to. I think, yeah. So we're gonna pitch Drill Shot to activate Voltaire. All right, 1 second, guys. I got to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I was going to take a break between that game, but my opponent wanted to rematch, so 1 second. Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to use the bathroom. Yo, Shark with the host, with the raid. While I was gone. Dude. Thanks for the raid, man. Sorry, I was at the bathroom when you raided me, brother, but I appreciate it, man. How was your stream, man? How was your stream? So am I even able to play 3 cards here? I came back just in time. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, how was your stream, brother? Did you wreck kids tonight, man? Oh, this is really awkward. I guess let's go war. So, Bolden shot. Not bad. Got a couple dubs and dropped almost a 20 bomb. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Dude, getting 20 kills in a game, in a solo game, is like really impressive. That's awesome, dude. Sounds like you were crushing it tonight, brother. So, if we withering shot for 6... I think we're just gonna go Bolton shots. We're just gonna go Bolton shots for 10. Yeah, dude. I don't think I've ever gotten 20 kills in a solo game. I think I've gotten 20 kills before, like in a normal game, like in like a squads game or something like that, but never in solos. I'm honestly not that good at solos, man. Like, solos is one of those things that I really struggle with. Also, everybody, welcome from Shark Stream. Hope you guys enjoyed his stream. I am not playing Fortnite tonight. I am playing a card game that I play called Flesh and Blood tonight. Got a big tournament coming up, and actually in Las Vegas, and so I'm preparing for that. Those 20 bombs in squads, lol, and solos, I have to sweat. Dude, I get it. Like, I have to, like, sweat pretty bad when I play solos and, like, I want to win. I completely understand that. Let's go for 5, and then we'll arsenal our 3 of a kind here. Next season, I'm going to play way more rank and actually join tournaments for Fort. So the funny thing is, like, I don't know how to join tournaments for Fortnite. Like, I would be down to play in a competitive tournament for Fortnite every now and again. I just don't know how people join them. Carly's my girlfriend. She plays Fortnite with me, and we tried to play quite a bit of ranked when it originally came out. But we were just having a hard time, trying to actually, like understand. Like I don't know. It's just it was very different. It was like ranked is a little different. You have to go through like some websites. Oh, okay, that's cool. I did not know that. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, we tried to play ranked when it first came out, and it was like, I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know. Like ranked is just very different. It's just it's a different animal for sure. Pitch Codex to play 3 of a kind. Draw garbage straight off the press. You love to see it. Hot off the press. Who wants dog shit? Kind of Arsenal the Icequake here. Hit me up so we can play together? Yeah, dude, absolutely. I was like, I'll yell at you one night whenever we're gonna get on, man. And I was like, we'll play sometime. That sounds awesome. I was like, Carly and I pretty much always play together. So I was like, we probably play Fortnite. I would say like somewhere between 3 to 5 nights a week if I had to guess. So, but yeah, dude, I'll like if you're on or something, man, I'll shoot you a message. I'll jump in your chat and we can like play some games or something, man. That sounds awesome. I'm hoping that Remorseless stranded a defense reaction in their arsenal here. Now, are the chances of that super high? No, absolutely not. But it would be nice nonetheless. So Endless Arrow with Go Again. Curious to know, like, if their hand's good enough to just let everything hit here. Because if they're going to let everything hit, this might be a block with Perch Grappler's Hornet Sting turn. If that's what the game comes down to. I also won last game without ever blocking with New Horizons or Trench. Like, we had 3 more equipment block if we had to have it. So, thank God we never needed it based off how the game went, but... And I just can't fight it. I'm gonna lurk while I go make something to eat. Dude, I get that. I always end up, like, eating after my stream, but I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the raid, and I appreciate you lurking, brother. Yo, let's go. We're up to 484 subs on YouTube. Man, if y'all subbed to YouTube recently and the notification didn't pop up, I appreciate you all subbing. It means a lot. I like appreciate y'all hanging out with me on YouTube. Means a lot. Also, something worth noting for future streamers that you follow while they're streaming, if you guys sub to their channels while they're streaming and the notifications do not pop up, it's because your privacy settings are turned on inside of YouTube, and so that none of your following notifications will pop up, actually. So if that ever happens to you, that's why. I like to tell everybody that when I see the live subscriber count change, when I see it change on YouTube, I always like to tell people that so that they can change it, because, you know, when I follow somebody, you know, like who's like streaming and like, you know, like they're like playing games and stuff like that, you know, I always personally find it cool to see my name pop up on their stream and they're like, hey, thanks for following. Like I personally really like that. So that's why I like to tell you guys. So we're down a point, and we're going to Arsenal an Icequake here. Okay, maybe their turn's not as impressive as I thought it was going to be. They've only played 1 Sigil, 2 Fates, and 1 Sync left. Codex them, Winter's Bite, Arsenal this. Man, we're getting these awkward, like, red hands that we didn't want. So... right now, here's how I'm looking at my hand. My hand is, like, my current hand is going to be, like, if we go to 19, it's going to be activate Lexi, flip, give our opponent a Frostbite, go Falcon Wing, Endless Arrow. If we get the Endless Barrow back, Arsenal it. Pitching Hamstring Shot and Infecting Shot. The other option we have is to go block with Infecting Shot. Wait. To which, yeah, so, yeah, it's not great, but we'd block with Infecting Shot, and then we'd go pitch Falcon Wing, to we'd pitch Falcon Wing to load Hamstring Shot after we flip Lexi and give them a Frostbite, and then we'd throw the Hamstring Shot for 6, pitching Endless Arrow. Then they'd have a Frostbite and 6 points on them, and that's if we block. That's if we block 3, so it turns our hand into a 9-point hand, or our hand is 8 points in a Frostbite, so blocking with Falcon Wing is just better. I just want to block with Falcon Wing here. And then we'll just come in for 6. Now, they don't have to block this 6, but if they do want to block this 6, then we're forcing our opponent into a situation where it's costing them more to throw their hammer if that is their game plan. So, my water's empty. Sag. Some of the guys that I was friends with started saying that ironically when I started playing Flesh and Blood, and here I am. So I think I'm going to go Infecting Shot, then Endless Arrow. We have 2 Infecting Shots in our arsenal or in our graveyard, so if we draw Codexes, we have the capability to play the Codexes to get those back if we want to. All right, Staunch Response, and they're going to pitch a blue here to pay for the Frostbite. Or not. Or nah. It's like, interesting that you would pitch 2 cards there. Yeah, just pitch a blue. That makes way more sense. Now, let's go Endless Arrow, then Infecting Shot. Okay, so block Drill Shot. Frostlock, pitch Remembrance to play 3 of a kind. Try to pop off here. I'm hoping that they can't really do too many crazy things here. I mean, I'm pitching my Remembrance regardless here. If they come in with... Okay, so the fact that they came in with Spinal Crush means we're definitely blocking 6 here. If they were just going to come in with Hammer, I was just going to give them the drill or the Frostlock there. Hang on to the Drill Shot. I just can't hide it. Okay, so... Wow, this is so bad. So... Heat Seeker for +1. Okay, so we have 2 options here. If we go Heat Seeker +1, they give us 2 cards in Arsenal unless their hand's insane. If we go... We can go Drill Shot, go again, Searing Shot, go again, try to take multiple cards out of their hand and get some equipment here. And then still only have the Icequake in Arsenal. I think shooting 2 arrows is just better, personally. I don't know. I like it better. I'm going to throw the Searing Shot second because I like my arrows being able to... I like Searing Shot being able to push a breakpoint, or it demands a Crater Fist block here. They're going to give me Stillbraid Buckler and Cranial Crush here. And then they'll probably give me a card... They'll probably give me a card and Crater Fist here if I had to guess. I'd really like to be able to catch them. I'd like to be able to catch them on a turn where they don't have an Arsenal and get them with a Codex to where we could really push some damage through. I mean, they may just take 6 here. I don't know. Okay, so they have a Staunch. That's 2 Staunches we've seen. Now, they still have a Sink and 2 Fates left, but that's 2 Staunches we've seen. Heat Seeker, then Remembrance for sure. Okay, yeah. Swing that hammer, big boy. Swing that hammer! Okay, so let's think about this. Do we have a red Bolton shot? Bolton shot, red. We do. We have 2 Bolton shot reds. Okay, so if we go... Hang on, I gotta tell my opponent we're thinking about this. So if we go Icequake... Play Icequake, pitch blue Frostlock for that. Activate Voltaire for +1. Pitch Command and Conquer, play Icequake. Pitch Frostlock to activate Voltaire, Bolton Shot +1, Bolton Shot for 6 on hit Frostbite, Codex of Frailty, Red Infecting Shot. We'll have 1 resource left if we do that. Pitch 1 there, have 2 left, and shoot it. No. We'll be able to get Command and Conquer and get their card back, or force them to give us their Crown of Providence, which is a much better play. We also have Battering Bolt. We could try to just get them. All right, let's go to 15 and try to take our turn here. I mean, I guess if we block with Command and Conquer... Blocking with Command and Conquer's... no, we need every one of our resources to make this happen here. Play Icequake. We technically only need every one of our resources to get back the Command and Conquer or the Battering Bolt here. So this is for 6. I don't like that we're down 12 points. That's not a good place to be in, and I don't know if my opponents played this game better or if I've played this game worse. I'm going to be honest, it's not always easy for me to tell looking at games on the surface whether my opponent's playing better or I'm playing worse. Sometimes it's a combination. Sometimes it's like it's also a second game against the same opponent, which means they could just have a better understanding of what I'm up to. So there's also that. They block this. We're going to go Codex of Frailty. We're going to name Command and Conquer because we don't have any like big buffs. And if this hits them, they get a Frostbite. We're about to go up to 40 and then down to 36. Which puts them 11 cards ahead of us, depending on what their turn looks like. It was probably better to block with Command and Conquer on our turn and then get a Heat Seeker here and go for the Heat Seeker play of having a 6-card hand off of the back of the Ponder token from Codex. They get a red Chokeslam. Interesting. Interesting choice. I probably would have taken Crippling Crush, just being the greedy person that I am. Command and Conquer, then Frostlock, Arsenal, Remorseless. Block Drill Shot. Activate Lexi. Actually, let's trench here. Load Battering Bolt. I mean, I guess I could have 1 floating and then go that for go again into Heat Seeker. Nah, let's throw this for 7 because it's a breakpoint. This is a breakpoint 7. They only have 1 trench left. Now they do have 2 fates and a sink left, so it's not crazy to think that they can cover this up. And then we can Arsenal the Codex and try to have a solid 3-arrow turn next turn. Maybe we get lucky and draw Rain Razors that we can pitch to go with our Codex here. And if they happen to get rid of their arsenal at some point, then Codex is even more of a blowout. So we're just trying to like play to the strong suits of this. Plus, Battering Bolt is a card that if they have defense reactions or Sigil of Solace, it demands that they play them or, I don't know, block this out in one way or another. So Sigil of Solace they can just play as a negation to what this does. Oh my gosh. Value. That's insane. Get both of them out of there now. They're gone. Wow. I mean, I'm just going to say this now. There's no way that's correct. Like, I don't know what my opponent's last card is, but if they give us Starstruck, Pummel, and Crater Fist, they can pitch Pummel. Oh, they can't make a Surge, but they can pitch Pummel and then pitch their blue or their yellow or whatever it is, throw the Titan's Fist at me for 4. Like, I don't think it's correct that they block with both their Pummels here. But if this happened to me at an event, I'd like, this would be like a very nice surprise for me. I would be very happy about this indeed. Am I lagging or is my opponent thinking? I was like, unfortunately with Talishar, you never know. Yeah, I don't know what they have. This hand's not great. Yeah, they definitely should have kept one of those pummels in their deck, I think, honestly. Okay, so pitch Arctic Incarceration to play Icequake. Pitch Winter's Bite to play Bolt and Shot. So if I block Arctic Incarceration here, I can go Winter's Bite, take a card out of your hand. No. So if I block Arctic Incarceration, I'm going to go pitch Winter's Bite to play Icequake, play Bolt and Shot after I flip Lexi, play Codex. With my one resource, I'm going to get Heat Seeker. I think that's our play here. I think that's my best play. So this is for 7 on hit Frostbite. I mean, I could have just went 4, then played the Icequake. Maybe Icequake on Heat Seeker's better. I wonder. Genuinely wonder. Chat, what do you guys think? If y'all are hanging out tonight, what do you think? Y'all think Icequake is better on Heat Seeker, or do you think Icequake is better on the Bolt and Shot here? Now, like, obviously, in this situation that we're in right now, what do you guys think of that? Is my opponent just going to go to 16 and take a Frostbite? They are. Hamstring Shot's not a bad idea. I think Heat Seeker's just my best option. Because if they don't block it, it gives me so much upside potential here. Yep, give me Crippling Crush and Piece of Equipment. The game's now a lot closer. Oh, we're going to Arsenal that. That's a great card to have. Okay, so they have a third pummel here. So if I block... If I block Bolton Shot, or if I block Searing Shot, Hornet Sting... Like, they took damage to be able to do this. Really don't want to go to 3 here. I really don't want to go to 3, but I also, like, I think going to 3 is just incorrect here. Let's block 6. They didn't have the third pummel. Interesting. So it was totally a bluff. They totally took damage just to throw that and bluff me. And it worked. They got 2 red cards out of my hand, like, which I guess I didn't have to give up, but I would have anyway, knowing... Like, if I knew they didn't have it, I'm not going to give it up there, but... Like, it's so hard to say whether they're on the Pablo list of 2 or whether they've changed to 3. They're already on Tunic. Like, it's just tough, man. Like, it literally feels like they took Pablo's list and just made a Tunic and just, like, threw a Tunic in there. And they won it in this matchup. I don't know. Man, I don't know. Like... If they had it, I was just going to trench my card away. Load a card face up and then Arsenal. Or like load a card and then... or I would have discarded a card, went to 9, and then I would have just Arsenaled my hamstring shot that I had there. How many Rain Razors are left in our deck? Because we're going to need one. We have all 3 Rain Razors in our deck. Am I just looking over my graveyard too quickly? There is all 3 Rain Razors in our deck. And we have a 3 of a kind left. We have a Codex, all 3 Rain Razors, and a 3 of a kind left. So we need some cards to line up pretty well here for us so that we can push the tempo. Like, there's no way that they're just taking 5 here. It was like, feels like pretty late. Like, they must have a serious power turn if they're just going to take 5. That would be my read of their hand. If they said we're just going to take 5, I'm like, okay, your hand's stacked. I mean, am I just going Rain Razors 3 Oak here? Sure feels like it. We draw multiple blues, we can just make stuff happen here with the... we could just make the quiver happen. But we did not, so we're going to go Falcon Wing for +1. So this is for 6 go again. Can attack for 6, Heat Seeker for 8, and then Arsenal the Icequake. Like, they have a Staunch left, right? They have 1 Staunch left? Yeah, they have 1 Staunch left. They still have at least 1 more blue unmovable, if I had to assume. I mean, they're on the Bravo. They're on Bravo. Like, they're playing 1 more. And then they got at least... Okay, they have 1 more copy of Fate and 1 more copy of Sink Below, if I had to guess. Yeah, I figured you might take 6 there, buddy. That seems like a good decision from your perspective, in my opinion. Like, I think as Bravo, he just has to agree to take some damage there. That was our last 3 of a kind, and it just pulled up with a Rain Razors. So, I mean, I can't, like, there's nothing to complain about here. Our Rain Razors might have only been a 0 for 4, but no way they're taking 8. No way. His hand must be insane. And I mean absolutely insane. Oh god, this is gonna be like tear us under Spinal Crush or some garbage. Can they not play it? And if they tear us under Hammer, like, I was like, they have to be able to play it, right? Okay, so this is for 9, discard 2 cards. So let's... This is not great. So if we discard Bolt and Shot, we trench this away, we go Searing Shot. For 4 into Infecting Shot. We have to go to 4 to do that, and then we're only guaranteed to strip 1 card out of their hand because of the Tunic. I mean, equipment now and equipment later doesn't matter, right? Like, equipment now and equipment later does not matter. I can block 3. I can block 3. If I block blue Bolt and Shot, take 6, go to 7. I discard blue Bolt and Shot, Searing Shot. Actually, maybe I just activate Lexi to give them a Frostbite anyway. Instead of trenching, maybe I activate, play the Ice Quake, Searing Shot for 4, then that. Let's do that. I mean, it can't gain power, which is not what I'm really going for here. Like, it's not that I need it to gain power. Is that the Frostbite is just genuinely that worth it, in my opinion. Like, we give them a Frostbite. We're going to waste a card here just to be able to give them a Frostbite, which is... maybe that's not correct. I don't know. Like, I know this is only for 4, but... them having a Frostbite is so relevant, because if they decide to give us multiple cards here, then... oh, this is a defense reaction. Alright, they gotta kick a card, though. They gotta kick a card for their sink below because of the Frostbite. Like, my decision's already paying off a little bit because we're taking another card out of their hand. And then when we throw the Infecting Shot here for 3... we throw the Infecting Shot for 3... ooh, interesting. Throw the Infecting Shot for 3. They give us a card, throw Hammer, is what it feels like they're wanting to do. As a Guardian player, I probably would have opted the other way around. They're actually going to throw this thingy at me, which is crazy. So, all right. So give Grapplers. Give Hornet Sting, block 3, take 2. Take 2, go to 2. Please let the Hornet Sting hit. Jesus. I swear, we miss. I miss so often on that.
Oh, God.
Curly has no idea how loud she is in the other room sometimes. All right, Remorseless. We're going to throw the Rain Razors here. I hate to just, like, let another Rain Razors be a 0 for 4, but man, we got to cash in. Like, it's a close game. They're up about 15 cards right now. I don't think they're going to fatigue us. Like, I just don't think it's in the cards for them to fatigue us right now. And so now this is for 7. Which means if you don't have a defense reaction here, they could have one more Fate Foreseen. We haven't seen one yet, but I was like... So they take 2, go to 1. And we're taking away... Yeah, they definitely should have given us a Tunic right there, I think. Okay, take a card to their hand, pitch Withering Shot for Endless Arrow with Go Again, Codex of Frailty, kill them. I'm pretty sure that's the play here. I think this kills them. They have to have a sink below. They have to have double 0-cost defense reactions here to live. Without having their Tunic block, they have to have 0 double-cost defense reactions to... Or double 0-cost defense reactions to live here. Endless Arrow for 4, go again. They give us 2 cards just like we wanted. We play Codex and send them off to sleep. I mean, I guess we'll get a Searing Shot here. They get a card, discard their last card, and then we come in. Fa-fa. Those were good games. That's like my opponent, like good player. Like honestly, like I could just tell by the way they played Bravo that they understand the deck. That was like they were good games. Like I feel like pretty good about beating that Bravo if I'm gonna be entirely honest with you guys. Like that was like a good win. All right, 6-0 tonight. I mean, let's break down our 6-0 tonight. Like let's hang on. Like my last 6 games were I played Lexi the first round, which I won. I beat an Icelander who wasn't very good. I played an Icelander who was good. I high rolled a Kano, and then I beat Bravo, and then I beat the same Bravo 2 times in a row, who was a good player in my opinion. Like tonight was a good night, and I feel like we got a lot of good results out of tonight. I feel like we showed a lot of strengths and probably some of the weaknesses of the deck that maybe the team and I need to go back to the drawing board and try to figure some things out before Nats over the next like week or 2. So I don't know. I feel pretty good about the deck. Like the deck feels really solid. I've played 32 games so far on this build of the deck, and I'm 26-6 if you count every single game I've played. And that's a pretty good record. I mean, that's a pretty high win percentage. Now, don't get me wrong. Like some of that's Talishar luck, some of that's Talishar people. Like you got to kind of take that for what it's worth. So anyway, guys, thanks to everybody for hanging out tonight. I appreciate everybody coming by tonight. Thanks to Shark for the raid over on Kick, means a lot. Got a couple new subs over on YouTube too, so we're inching closer to 500. And I talked about this earlier in the stream. You know, the idea of being at 500 subs is kind of like a surreal feeling to me. It's just not something like, I don't know, like I never like expected, I've never expected to be like, like ninja rich or anything, like as far as like streaming goes. But like, I just, like the more people that come and hang out on my stream and the more, subs and followers I get it, it really means a lot because I enjoy meeting people, and there've been people from all over the world in my chat hanging out. And so it means a lot, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I will not be back on Thursday. I don't think anyway. It's not looking like I will be doing some family stuff. I'll try to be back this weekend. I doubt it. Like, we're gone in Charlotte all weekend. I might be back Sunday night. I don't know. If nothing else, I will be back Tuesday as my last stream before Nats. That'll kind of be like my send-off before we get to Nationals. So anyway, if you're on YouTube, thanks for hanging out tonight. If you're on Kick, we're going to find somebody to raid. I appreciate everybody hanging out, and we'll see you guys then. If I don't stream the rest of the week, hope you guys have a good week and a good weekend. Take it easy, guys.